Good evening, and welcome to Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference and home of the Allen Institute for Human Rights. My name is Frank Allen, and I will be your host for the evening. The views and opinions that are expressed by our listeners are not necessarily the views of Targeted Massachusetts, the Allen Institute, nor myself. It is the goal of this conference to be a place where people who are victims of organized stalking, intimidation, electronic torture, and mind control in all differing forms and from various sources can feel free to openly and safely discuss any of their fears, hopes, strategies, and solutions for themselves, and to offer advice, support, and encouragement for one another. It is understood that some people may not always agree with one another, so let us start this conference with a willingness to agree to disagree, keeping in mind that it is more important to support one another than for us to always be correct. Okay, I had some information I wanted to read to you guys and go over possibly, but some people may have read it, others may have not. But this is about satellites and how they're used and the impact that they may have on us. Satellite-based psychotechnology is being used by defense, security, research, and law enforcement agencies to gather signals intelligence, or SIGINT. This data, during the course of investigations and research, is vital to these organizations.
So much for Build Back Better. Guess
Psychotechnology operators analyze detailed information about a human subject based on their neurological activity, communicate with a subject using transmitters that deliver barely audible subliminal sound perceivable without an electronic device, and utilize electromagnetic wave frequency transmitters that elicit and modulate a subject's neural activity. Signals intelligence is gathered while a subject is stationary or in motion, indoors or outdoors, and without apparent presence of the technology or its operators. Signals are captured and delivered within an immediate periphery around a subject. And I've discussed with you in the past that this is probably about 5 feet. Science that drives psychotechnology is classified, and discovering technical details about equipment and operations is not easy. Contributors to research and development of the technology work under non-disclosure agreements where they may not share any information about their efforts with colleagues or competitors under threat of punishment. The technology is advanced enough that upon learning details of its capabilities, the general public is in disbelief both that it is possible to gather signals intelligence as described, and that any government agency would use the technology as part of its work. Leaders in education and industry who are unfamiliar with the technology themselves can often not fathom how it is engineered or configured. This overview was informed by a team of 7 people who ultimately described themselves as researchers or investigators and claim to be employed by the Department of the Army, operators that are communicated with on rotating shifts 60 to 80 hours per week, focusing on a single subject. They monitor the subject's location, communications, interpersonal interactions, diet, substance use, activity, and behavior. Their work is performed remote from their subject, with a satellite mediating signals and communication between both parties. They author summary reports of subject activity from real-time observation sessions presented as text and data visualizations. They conduct experiments and interviews with a subject about their knowledge, interests, and experience for use in psychological profiles, or simply to understand and predict behavior and activity. These are some of the capabilities that this author noted. Neuroelectric signal sensors are capable of recording thoughts and translating them into text. In demonstrations, thoughts that easily translated to text included reading printed words, hearing spoken language, and forming sentences for written and verbal communication. Thoughts processing, visual stimuli were also recorded with a high degree of accuracy, including facial and object recognition. This includes shapes, colors, plus movement and activity observed by a subject in their environment. Thoughts around logic and decision-making could also be translated with the help of a human analyst. This means that anything a subject reads, sees, says, or hears can potentially be translated to text. Psychotechnology operators communicate with subjects using audio transmissions that are perceived as subliminal sound. In some cases, a subject is aware they are receiving communications and can recognize voices or noises being transmitted by equipment operators from their remote location. In other cases, a subject may not be aware they are receiving communications, but sound is processed by the brain nonetheless. Operators using a probing technique where a subliminal question or statement evokes involuntary thought responses that can be measured and recorded to determine how accurate or truthful they are. They also use a subliminal messaging technique that directs a subject's thoughts and speech with limited or no awareness to the subject. Neural activity can be elicited and modulated using electromagnetic wave generators with adjustable frequency ranges. A subject will experience changes or interruptions in neuroelectric activity that inspire involuntary actions. Electromagnetic frequencies affect motor activity in different parts of the body. This can range from full muscle motion to partial muscle stimulation. They can also affect organ operations by inspiring autonomic responses. Transmitted frequencies are capable of eliciting involuntary ocular muscle movement with a degree of accuracy that causes eyeballs to move left, right, up, and down, as well as cross, diverge, and rotate in circles, foot, toe, hand, and leg muscle movement. The degree of which they can be tapped, retracted, extended, or twitched. Sexual organ activity that causes ejaculatory movement or muscle movement, blood flow around genitalia, and excitation, back, abdomen, and leg movement that interfere with walking gait while the subject is ambulatory, and sensations that resemble human emotions. Psychotechnology audio transmitters cause involuntary thoughts in the form of auditory hallucinations, where a subject perceives sound with no discernible point of origin, such as a human speaker, electronics, machines, animals, or weather. I wanted to bring this up especially because we have a large number of people who are actually hearing machines. I've heard it for years. Some people will hear what they think is a generator. They'll hear like a lawnmower, anything. But it's not coming from anything because they open the door and there is nothing there. So these are all distinguished from auditory hallucinations originating from a person's brain, described as symptoms of schizophrenia or other mental illnesses. Now, we've discussed in the past that schizophrenia usually starts around the 20s or before. So if you are 40, 45, 50 years old, and the government decides to put you in a mental institution and diagnoses you with schizophrenia at these ages with no prior history, you've got them right there. It's a false diagnosis. People rely on sound events from predictable or expected sources to orient themselves. You must maneuver through space, understand your environment, and communicate effectively. Auditory hallucinations from subliminal sound can cause involuntary thoughts that interfere with cognitive ability and speech and inspire involuntary actions. When audible, subliminal sound could be described with corollaries familiar to people through the course of normal communications. At times it resembles conversation occurring 5, 10, 50, or 100 feet away, or in nearby structure interiors. However, unlike normal voice communications at these distances, where content and quality is distorted by wind or physical barriers, the content of subliminal messages can be persistent or contiguous instead of faint or disjointed. I think I mentioned this, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, that you can have a bulldozer operating right outside your window and you will still perceive voice to skull. Now, in this particular article or paper, they are leaving a gray area between subliminal messaging and voice to skull. But the point is, it's all subliminal to anyone else. When inaudible, subliminal sound more closely resembles intrapersonal communication, dialogical self, sub-vocalization, or internal monologue. Involuntary thoughts, direct cognition, distract from currently proceeding cognitive activity, or deform cognition to become something other than intended. This occurs with varying degrees of awareness or no awareness to people experiencing subliminal sound. This is also distinguished from mental illness symptoms such as obsessive-compulsive disorder, where one's mind is distracted by predictable stimuli or interpersonal thoughts. Involuntary actions are a series of motions that amount to common activity comprised of coordinated muscle movement or organ function that are not intended by the person performing them. With psychotechnology, these are in response to electromagnetic frequency transmissions that elicit and modulate neural activity. Involuntary actions resemble intentional actions that range from simple to complex. I disagree with this. At least from my personal point of view, this is something that they haven't been able to do, but they have tried. And I think I have told you my solution to it. If they try walking you, put both hands in your front pockets so that you can monitor where your legs are. And you will find that you will be able to control their actions. Involuntary actions resemble intentional actions that range from simple to complex. And once again, you can get a handle on this. You just have to learn what they're trying to do. They are using your self-conscious awareness. Did you ever walk in front of a crowd or walk into a crowded movie theater and you walk up front and you're walking in front of the whole crowd, it doesn't bother me, but it bothers a lot of people. And this is what they work on. So they're trying to make you think that a crowd is watching you as you walk across a parking lot alone. Some of the more complex actions may include retrieving objects, satiating appetite, performing household work, or satisfying human needs and desires. Simple involuntary actions are caused by electromagnetic wave frequency generators once again. Complex involuntary actions are caused by involuntary thoughts inspired by subliminal messages. And this all goes back to hypnotism, repetition, continued repetition, to the point where they don't even want to say these words or phrases any longer. And they try to come up with trigger words to inspire your mood or your desires. Psychotechnology operators broadcasting messages and electromagnetic frequencies from satellite-based technologies into an environment with an unsuspecting audience has the ability to inspire involuntary thoughts, actions, all among people in the reception zone. Now, the cognitive difficulty a lot of you have come up with is actually a very good adjective for it, or actually a noun for it, and that's brain fog. A lot of people say brain fog. They're having difficulty concentrating. They're having difficulty remembering. A word is snatched right off of your tongue. Thoughts are grabbed as a whole while you are processing them. This leads to frustration, and what you must do is not fight it. You'll get a chance again to grasp that memory. They may say that they can dampen these memories forever, but they cannot. Electroshock therapy will remove memories. But to date, I have not run into a targeted individual that has lost memories forever. You can always pull them up again. So don't fight against the operators or perpetrators as we have come to know them. This will cause, I can't think of the proper word at this point in time, but it's going to cause electrical confusion that will possibly even spread further in the brain. So back off of it, stay away from it. If they grab the word, just forget it, it'll come back to you. Okay, we have some privacy concerns. Satellite-based technology can record thoughts in public and private dwelling. It is possible to capture thoughts arising from conversations between friends, written journals, email communications, personal account information, and visual observations behind closed doors. It is also possible to capture information about intimate sexual acts between unsuspecting people, and details about grooming, defecation, and urination. In business, visual and auditory information originating from office and meeting spaces can be recorded, allowing sensitive data such as credentials, PIN codes, usernames, and passwords, confidential documents, and verbal communication from privileged meetings to be exploited and compromised. All this can lead to extortion, espionage, and sabotage, unbeknownst to a person or their business. Now, we've all come to the conclusion that when we set up passwords, sometimes it's a good idea to have someone else set up the password and let one of your programs or browsers log it into memory. Then you will have some safety. In terms of banking, everyone says, okay, online banking is bad. It's terrible. Oh, we don't want to do any online banking. Well, if you do online banking and you set up your accounts so that when you open your account, you get a text. If your balance goes below $1, you'll get a text. If somebody from a different locality tries to get into your account, you will get a text, and you can get on the phone to your bank and tell them. And if they don't want to do anything about it, that's when you go to IC3, which is part of the FBI. It's part of their Internet sabotage group. So there are things that we can do. Okay, psychotechnology digitizes neuroelectric signals for consumption through software installed on a computer console and is vulnerable to hacking by any number of criminal organizations or individuals. An operator's computer console can be accessed remotely, allowing unauthorized access to their workstation or activity in real time. The contents of the software can be exported and stored, allowing access of sensitive data to hackers or curious third parties. And the software source code can be stolen, distributed, or re-engineered to harness the hardware without proper security protocols. So we have come to the point where, in this particular paper, this woman has a well-rounded idea of exactly what is going on. And I can get a copy of this paper to any of you. I'm just going to read a couple of more paragraphs and then see if there are any questions you want to ask or who wants it sent to them, because it is very thorough, and this is only the beginning. When psychotechnologies are used for intelligence gathering, investigation, and research purposes, they offer a limited perspective of a subject's personality, his beliefs, knowledge, behavior, actions, or intent. These characteristics of a subject are not measurable through neuroelectric activity alone. And there are limitations defining these qualities through observation, profiling, questioning, and stimuli response using only the equipment. This is a little bit convoluted right here, so I'm going to jump down a paragraph. Psychotechnologies do not represent a subject's entire state of being. Well, I disagree with that too. I don't know what she is getting at. Psychotechnologies do represent a subject's entire state of being in real time. So that's why I'm disagreeing with this particular point that she's making. During short-term observations, behavior and activity of a subject can be fully informed by the system or operating agency with a degree of accuracy that could determine or predict criminal intent. Now, I've reversed this whole paragraph to make it positive because she was claiming that all these things that I just mentioned cannot be done, and they can, as we all know. Long-term observations of a subject's behavior and activity must be informed by ongoing observation, which itself has weighed value without traditional investigation or research methods and interpersonal communication. Okay, I'm not liking any of this because it's not getting to the point that I'm interested in. Okay, I'm going to jump down. I think I'm going to finish up here in about 5 or 10 minutes. Public hysteria. The awareness an observation subject has of monitoring activity sometimes leads to personal research efforts about the effects and activities related to both operators and their agency. Due to secrecy around these topics, there are often little or no verifiable resources to substantiate their suspicions or claims. Many resources available on the Internet include incomplete or misleading information from witnesses or subjects that have been victimized by the technology's abuse. So disinformation runs high in the community because if someone finds an article, okay, they're anxious to present it. This article here has been on our website for years, but many of them, Joe Schmo just put out a video. Okay, you've got to check your sources. Make sure that the source is good, because if it's not, you're just going to disseminate disinformation once again. Okay, this is apparent in the topic of gang stalking, which has manifested its own vocabulary describing targeted individuals as observation subjects. This comes from the Stasi, East Germany Secret Police, as operators, and researchers and investigators. V2K as satellite-based audio transmitters, direct, she says direct, but I'm going to correct that and say directed energy weapons, as electromagnetic wave generators with adjustable frequencies. Now, she keeps reiterating this fact. So, wave generators are actually something I'm in the middle of researching right now. All right, criminal behavior. There's a lot of good stuff in here, but I know I would like to hear what you guys have to say, and we can go back to this. And there's some very rank language they use in here. So, I'll let you read that, because I'm not going to read it. Okay, welcome to the conference, folks. It's a pleasure. Would anybody care to comment or open up a new topic? Or
yeah, I'd like to say something, Frank.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. This is Amy from Oregon. Hi, good evening. I hope you're doing okay, at least okay. I was thinking, as you were reading what this person wrote, she's very brilliant. She figured it out. It takes a lot to come to those conclusions that she came to. However, she did not say one thing which is really important, which I think it affects TIs. I don't know how many, but it's affected me. A safe deposit box, for instance, keeping papers, very pertinent papers in a safe deposit box, and then one day going to get something and it's not there anymore. And so I wonder, how do they get in? Right? I wish you could address that. That's a physical thing. There's no weapon that can transmit any kind of signal or frequency to take something out of a box. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, anything is possible, but I don't think there's anything right now that could go into a vault, open up a box, and take it out, and it go through the air, through the ethers. I never heard of that. And so, let's say there's no such thing right now to do that. How do they manipulate, the criminals, the grisly, the wicked ones? How do they manipulate, and who do they manipulate to get in there? Who do they say they are? Do they say they're from the IRS? Do they say they're from some official agency investigating someone that may have stolen, Fort Knox or something like that that's in the safe Fort Knox? I mean, what do they say? I'm just curious if anyone has anything to comment about that. What could they possibly do to get that box open? Who opens that box? Does an employee of the bank open the box? Do they open the box? I'm very fascinated by the whole thing. That's why I decided to do something about it, Frank. It's fascinating to me. How that can happen. So that means you don't have any place to put your jewelry, your anything that's very sacred to you. You don't want to leave it in your house. You don't want to leave it in your car. You don't want to put it in storage. So where do you put it these days? So that's horrible. It's a horrible thing. It's another horrible thing to add to the horrible list of the targeting. And that's what I wanted to say about it.
Excuse me? I'm sorry. I was trying to prepare something else, and I missed the tail end of what you were saying.
Oh, no, I was saying that it's another horrible thing to add to the horrible list of what the targeting does to someone. It's another horrific tactic, another horrific assault, that those monster criminals do to people. They let you know they've been in the safe deposit box. You know,
Safe deposit box is a great idea, I think.
It's a great idea, but it's not protected. It's not protected.
Yes, it is. It's protected because you have one key, the bank has a key. They can't open it without your key. You can't open it without their key.
Well, it's been opened. I've heard other people on the calls over a course of time say that theirs has been broken. Theirs has been gotten into too. Not only me, but I know people personally.
You can sue. Well, you can sue the bank then. Don't accept that kind of behavior. There's no way that I can see anybody getting into the bank. Number one, all of the banks are using facial IDs now. You're fingerprinted. The bank people know you.
Not necessarily. If you don't go into the bank that much, they really don't get to know you. You have to be a regular to go into the bank. I wasn't doing it well, and it's not the first time it's happened. It's happened multiple times over the years since I'm targeted. Multiple times. So it's kind of like the thing with how can I describe it? Well, you go to the doctor, and the doctor's supposed to put down factual information on your chart, and the doctor does not. The doctor puts down what the doctor puts down, and it's not true. He puts it down because you're targeted. So he's manipulating his mind to put those notes down, or he's told up front, to do that. However, he or she puts those notes in there. Now that's something that's kind of sacrilegious to do something like that. So sometimes employees in a financial institution could be paid off.
Okay. That's like robbing a bank. Okay. Manipulate.
They do everything else, so why not that? Everything else they've done.
Okay, well, we can agree to disagree on that one. That's fine. I just thought that at this point in time, with all of the safeguards that banks have, you have a signature, you have a fingerprint, you have two keys, one that's yours and one that's the bank's. And this is no bull. In order to open that box, they have to drill out your key or your side. It's not as easy as it sounds. There's only one key. So what they have to do is drill out your side and replace the lock. And then when you come in, your key won't fit. So there's a lot of things that will prevent that. And the two-key identification they use, or used to use, right down to launching a nuclear missile. So they think the two keys are pretty safe. Excuse me, I'll be back in about 2 seconds. Feel free to hop up there and grab the Okay, I'm back. Did you want to add anything? 3401, the nice woman that we were just speaking with?
Well, I want to say that I have direct experience of that happening to me, Frank. And you know what? Keys are for honest people, lots of for honest people. But there's a key for anything, even for a safe deposit box. There's a key to open. Just like you could open any lock. Anyone could open. Anyone with that kind of criminal, psychopathic, sociopathic skills can open any lock. That you can open any lock, period. Any lock can be opened. That's my strong belief about it. It's happened to me, so I know. I'm not imagining that the papers are missing. I didn't go and take the papers down and forget about it.
All right, keep in mind that there are cameras on the box storage area. There would not be any cameras where you take the box to examine the contents. But there will be extensive coverage in the storage area.
That's right. That's exactly right. But not in the room where you go, like you said, but everywhere else there's cameras in financial institutions. And you're right. You're absolutely right. And it's happened to me a lot of times over these decades. A lot of times. And even one time, I had some chump change in there, for a rainy day, and extra money was in there. Extra money because there was so much money stolen over the decades that all of a sudden it put a little crumbs back into there from what was stolen over the years. I'm telling you, this is what has gone on, and I've heard other people talk about this over the years. Not a lot, but I've heard people say it.
All right. What you want to do is go with a small town bank that you've been with for years, or one that you know of. Stay away from banks like Citibank, J.P. Morgan, all these gigantic banks. All you are is a number. When you go to, like, Rockland Trust in my town, everybody knows you. So stick with a small bank, and you won't have any problems. But Bank of America is one that has been problematic.
It happened to me in Bank of America. It happened to me in Citibank.
Yep, those are two gigantic banks that are trouble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stay with what state do you live in?
I'm in Oregon.
Excuse me? Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay, well, just pick whatever town you're in, find a nice small bank that's been there for years, and get a safety deposit box there if you can. And I think you'll be happy with the service.
And I did, and I noticed that the box was messed with. The outside of the box had tape on it. It just looked like someone had played with it, whether to scare me or whether they really did it because they were in there. I don't know, but it looked very strange. It had tape where it shouldn't have to have tape over it. That was the box where a couple of extra pennies were put in there. I want you to know that was the box. Nothing was taken out of there, but a couple of pennies, so to speak, was put in there. After all the money that was stolen over the decades, they put a couple of pennies in there. So, and that's how I know. I mean, so this is a small bank. This is a trust, a unit trust group. Which, yeah,
okay.
It is safer.
Let me ask you a question. What place in your home or in your town is as safe as the bank?
No place. No place.
Okay. All right. So you take the lesser of two evils and do it that way. If you're having a problem with your mail, get a P.O. box. It's public. There are people watching.
I'm not having problems with my mail. I had at the very beginning of the targeting a long, long time ago when I started. I knew I was targeted a long time ago. I had problems, and I got a PO box, and it solved the problem. And to this day, I still have a PO box, and I can't tell you I have problems with my mail because I haven't. I have not. You're right about that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Get a small safe. But here we go. If you have no evidence of break-ins, if somebody kicks your door in and the police come to your home and they can't figure out that someone's broken in, there's a serious problem there. So
that's right.
Somebody kicks your...
Say that. I was going to say that someone in here, the cops say, well, it doesn't look like you get in here.
You need to clean up your conversation. You're either too close or too far away from your mic. The information you're coming up with is great.
Is this better?
But yeah.
Okay.
Once again?
If it's better.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, there are very few places, when you think about it, that you can keep your valuables. Short of going in a crawl space under where you live and digging a hole and putting a vault in there, you really don't have too many options. They have keys today that are like 3 inches long, and they have a multifaceted number of pins, and no one's going to get in there. A combination is as good as who has it. In other words, a combination lock. It's only as good as the person who has it. So, if you have a perpetrator, he is over your shoulder all the time, or he would like to make you think that he is. He may be getting information, as this paper suggested, by text. So you see, sometimes things are a little bit more simple than you think they are. There are two ways to look at this. Either they're seeing through your eyes, or they're getting page after page after page of text. Okay? Either that, or they're using habitual information. They follow your habits. They love when you're in your own home because they can follow you around and know exactly what you're going to do, how you make your coffee, how many sugars, or the lack of sugar, whether you like it black, with cream, or with milk. These are all things that they record, and then they remember themselves until they become totally inebriated and they don't remember anything. They just become pains in the butt.
It's so abnormal. So abnormal.
Yeah, to go through this is something that's, as this paper mentions, totally unbelievable. And they are now using, we believe, Project Bluebeam to make flying saucers appear everywhere. And for years, since 1947, they have been dumping flying saucers as being bunko. Now, they're coming out with, wow, there are flying saucers. Right. Okay. When one lands, you know, that's something else again. But now they want us to believe that. So what we've come up with is they're trying to lay a smoke screen over the targeted community because this is so big. It is so gigantic. It is so worldwide. It is so forever encompassing. That when it comes out, it's just going to be too much. The people will flip. But we have a lot of great people on this conference tonight. And I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. So far we have, at 9:59, we have 65 people. So that's good.
I have something to say.
Sure, go right ahead.
I have been calling the CIA and the FBI and different divisions of the government and telling them about this the stalking and the electronic, microwave, sonic weaponry, and so hopefully if enough people would call enough of our politicians and complain about this, that maybe it would come out. I haven't heard how the event went on the 28th, on Wednesday. So I have a message in to find out how it went. So probably I will hear back about it tomorrow, maybe. And
Sure. Oops, where'd you go? We lost you. Yep, we did. Yeah, if you, I'm seeing Joe was talking about the FBI. I didn't catch exactly what it was, but if you go to the FBI, they have a whole department. It's called IC3, Internet Crimes Division. And you can update your file, I believe, 3 times or more, or update it as many times as you want over the course of 3 months. And they give you monetary damages that you can fill in. It's unreal. The submit a tip by computer is now enhanced. It's 4, 5 pages long. So somebody is realizing that something is going on. We know that there's a lot of hacking going on. We hear it in the news every day. I mean, they're breaking into, oh God, you name it. The next thing, they'll be after our missile silos again. Now, I believe it was China some years ago that actually shut our silos off so that we could not use them. Just for a minute, but just long enough for us to figure out that it was them. And they used, actually, to build the computers that they used, they put together a bunch of gaming cards. That's what I would call it. I would call it a PCI. And they put all these together to gain the memory and power that they needed. And I'll think of it in a minute. They're green. Somebody will probably know the name of it. Yeah. But anybody can be hacked. It just depends upon how bad they want information. Now, we don't have anything that's going to take down anybody. We're targeted individuals. We're researching. We have research papers. Some of them are purchased. Some of them we find. Some of them we get for free. We don't have anything that somebody's going to want to take. So what they want to do is just mess you up so that you can't use your computer. Like Anne from New York. She is literally shut down. I saw her on here earlier. I hope she is still here. But they literally shut her right off.
I'm shut down. You're right. In fact, I was just dropped from the call. That's why you didn't see me. I just came back. Shut down. Unbelievable. I can't even make a phone call. I mean, I'm on this call right now, but I've been trying to call the NIH. And they just, I think I sent you a text. I don't know if you got it, showing what happened. First of all, as I'm dialing, all these notices are coming in on my phone, like all these notices, boom, boom, boom. They're just hitting me with notices as I'm trying to dial. Then I get call could not be completed as dialed. Then I get all the notices that this call is. I don't even remember. I took a picture of it and I sent it to you. But it's prison. It is prison.
Right, you can't have communication. We have to ultimately have communication. Because that, we have, I mean, we can't put a note around a rock and throw it 3,000 miles, you know. So we have to have our communication, and this is how we spread the word. But I've heard rumors of I think internet service for an entire area went down. I'm trying to think where it was. But I don't know whether they're practicing taking the internet service down or what. But
well, I can't send an email as of May 17th. Only if it has to do with business. They'll let it go through then. But they won't let anything go through to you, or anything personal, or any of my research. Does not go out.
Try sending one right now so I can...
In fact, I tried sending one to you this morning.
Really?
Yeah, just for the heck of it. I was like, maybe, let me try. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let me pick something.
Hey, Ann, this is Deb from St. Louis. The same thing is happening to me. I haven't been able to send an email since May.
Yeah, well, I don't. You know, I had said to many, when I was working, I would go to numerous libraries where I have made friends with all the librarians in my whole district, you know, because I would have to pick up work from, and I don't have data set on my phone. I will not do that, okay? I just use it for calls and for texting and for pictures. So I'd stop at the library, and while I was there, either picking up my work or entering my work, I would also, of course, dabble in my specialty, TI research. And something would happen to the computer. And of course, my friend, the librarian, especially the one named Phil, who had a thing on his jacket saying, you know, IT expert. You know, there was nothing he didn't know about electronics. But Phil would scratch his bald head and say, I can't answer that. I don't know. Okay? Other librarians would say, Ann, change the computer. Here, go to another computer. and I changed the computer, and the same thing would happen. And one time I just turned around to the woman and I said, listen, I said, if I could get a document and have all of you sign it out of, yeah, they all tell me the same thing. I've never seen this before. I've never seen this happen. So she was helping me so much that I finally said to her, I said, do you think maybe it's the content of what I'm looking at? Because it was apparent what was on the screen, you know. So, and I just joked about it, but it's serious. So,
you know, I wrote the city about not the problems with the libraries, and it was rectified immediately. I've had to do it twice, though, over many years.
Well, it wasn't like everybody wasn't trying to help me. You know, okay, here's one. This is a good one. This is about 5 years ago. I was at the library, and I was having a problem.
Being misled is common.
And one of the librarian, he said, this is what I'm going to do. So he takes me downstairs, all right, and he puts me at the librarian's desk in the children's department, because the children's, I've never said this before, but I'm going to say it now, because the children's department, the children's area was closed at the time. So he let me sit at the librarian's desk to do my work. And I suddenly get an email, okay? And the email says, because they let spam go into my inbox all the time, it never bypasses. So when they want to send me a message, they send it in as spam. And the message read, the baby monitor is watching you.
Well, of course.
That came in as an email. The baby monitor is watching you. I was in the kids' department at the librarian's desk.
It's all about surveillance.
Here's another one, since I'm at it. I was feeding a friend of mine. She has a fish pond. And every morning I get up and I go feed her fish, right? I go to the fish pond because she was out of state. She has another house in Florida. So I was taking care of the fish. So one day I'm sitting at the computer and I turn it on, I check, I just check my emails, I check things, and my sneakers were like on the floor next to me. So I bend down, I put my sneakers on, I get up. Now my computer, it was still on, and I was in my emails. And the email came in, and the email said, oh God, don't make me forget now. The email said, you don't have to go fishing today, okay? You don't have to go fishing today, or don't bother going fishing today, something like that. Within 5 minutes, all right, within 5 minutes, I get a phone call, and it's my girlfriend who owns the house in the fish pond, and she said, oh, I just got in this morning from Florida. I want to thank you so much for taking care of my plants and my fish. But you don't have to come today. Okay? So
yeah, that's really weird.
It's not weird for me. When my cousin, who I'm very close with, let me start from the beginning. I started getting emails about having heart attacks. And I thought they were talking about me because I know about the spam mail, what they do. And since my heart pounds crazy, every morning, I thought they were telling me I was going to have a heart attack. So they kept saying, are you having a heart attack? So everything came in about having a heart attack, right? I get a text message after about 4 days of these constant emails coming in. I get a text message from my cousin who I'm very close with, and he was on the golf course, and the text message said, I'm in the hospital. I had a heart attack. So, Now, about a month ago, I got a gazillion messages talking about trust and will. So I was like, uh-oh, somebody's going to die. Trust and will. I don't know. I still don't know what that was about, trust and will. So I haven't figured that one out yet. Oh, boy. I'll let you know when I find out.
Yeah, you've got some really hands-on action there.
Oh, hands-on, all right. Hands-on. Did I tell you about the radiation burns to my eyes? We haven't spoken, Frank. Yeah, so I don't even know how far I can go back, but I woke up in the middle of the night, let's say 2 years ago. I woke up in the middle of the night. Now, my targeting has a lot to do with light, okay? Physically, they flash lights. They'll do it in front of anybody. It doesn't matter. People think something's wrong with their lights. It's wherever I go, they flash lights. But there's also a light in my brain. So the first time they ever hit me, they hit me with a light, like a lightning bolt, all right, in my sleep. And the word was sleepies, all right? This is the first word I think they took out of my brain was sleepies. And they hit me to where the point they knocked me off the bed. They didn't hurt me, but it was a lightning bolt, like a strobe light in my brain, all right? Well, years of strobe lights. I guess strobe lights in my eyes. I just see it. So about 2 years ago, I wake up in the middle of the night. My room is black, pitch black. And I see lights. And I'm like, the lights are in my eyes. There's no light in this room, and I'm seeing lights, and I'm blinking, and I'm running my eyes. I'm like, I see lights. So I guess that made me more aware of it. And I could only see the lights when the room is absolutely pitch black, that there's no other light coming into the room. And it happens while I'm sleeping. So then COVID hit, and everything was closed. And I remembered that the last time I had taken an eye exam, the person that gave me the eye exam was so thorough, and it wasn't an ophthalmologist, it was an optometrist, okay? So he was just measuring me for glasses, but he still used all the machinery. It was almost like he was fascinated with my eyes. It was laughable. He just kept examining me over and over. He even took me outside in the street with the equipment, all right? He gave me the best prescription for glasses I ever had in my life. So that's how, and all this time while he was doing it, he was smiling, right? And I thought, well, he really likes me. Anyway, my plan was I have to do it sneak attack because I can't let them know. I can't think about it. I can't let them know. I can't make an appointment. I just have to show up one day. And with COVID and everything, that was impossible because everything was closed down. So I'm going down that road where I see the door open, all right? And the front door was open. I went, oh, great, they're there. And I just zoomed. So this was a complete surprise. They didn't know that I was planning on doing it. It was just a sneak attack. I run into the eyeglass place. And they were busy. They were busy in there, so I was just lingering and waiting. Also, my glasses were broken, so I wanted to replace the frames. And I said to the owner, who I'm friendly with, in fact, he was one of my clients when I was in the in the business. And I said to him, I'm seeing lights. He goes, oh, Ann, this is dangerous. I said, no, I want the guy, your optician that examined me, that gave me that great examination, I want him to look in my eyes. So he says, no, Ann, you need a doctor. I said, no, I want him to. He said, Ann, he's dead. Another one. Another dead person in my life. Never fails. That's it. They all die. So he says, oh, he died. He says, but if you come back on Thursday, he said, I have a replacement, and she's fantastic. You'll love her. I says, no, I have to do it right now. So he said to me, if you're seeing lights, that's dangerous. Now, I know what it means when you see flashing lights. Probably you have a ripped retina, but I knew I didn't have a ripped retina. And he said, you have to go to this doctor, and he gave me the name of the doctor, and I was lucky enough to get an appointment right away. So,
you know what that means?
What?
That means that you have been totally overloaded when that happens to your eyes. I found out about it.
Okay, so let me just finish what he found. So I'm like, I never said it before. I never said there were cameras in my eyes. But I see these lights, and I see these lights on my eyelids, and I've seen since that first time, I see them now all the time, okay? And I see them, they're like squishy lights. Sometimes they look like Christmas lights with my eyes closed. And sometimes I can actually see, like, you know when they scan your eye and they put the laser, it's, I don't even know what it's called. You know, when you always see an eyeball that's being scanned, you see that diagram, that overlay of the diagram. I've even seen that, okay? So he's examining my eyes. He doesn't see anything peculiar. I didn't say anything. I just said I see flashing lights at night. And he gave me a thorough, now this is a doctor, right? He gave me a thorough exam, didn't comment, didn't act surprised. I was like, all right, I'm glad I never said there were cameras in my eyes because, you know, he doesn't see anything. So then I said, doctor, one of the things that's happening to my deteriorating body with the hair loss and the tooth loss and the skin, like old skin, because I'm being microwaved to death. All right. So I said to him, do you know, doctor, I have never had bloodshot eyes in my entire life, no matter what I did the night before. I've never had veins running through my eyes. It just, all of a sudden, my eyes are pink all of the time. I see the veins, and now I see a growth in both my eyes. He said, oh, I see that. So I says, well, what is it? He says, it's called pingula. So I said, well, what's it from? He says, oh, it's from sunlight. I was like, well, it's ugly. He was like, well, that's, no, of course. Anyway, pingula. All right. So I said, can you please write that down? So and it's growth. I mean, it's a growth right, on both my eyes. So he wrote it down. I go home. I look it up to see what it's caused from. Yes, sunlight. You know what it's caused from? It's caused from radiation. Radiation. Sunlight. Radiation from the sun. I always wear sunglasses. I wear polarized sunglasses. That was my business, okay? I've always, and anyway, so there you go. I have radiation insurance to my eyes, and now there's growths. And the flashing, I mean, this is all connected. The flashing lights, the strobe lights I see, this is how they send messages. Some people get voices. This is how they send a message. Whenever they want to send a message, they send me a bolt of lightning. And so when I say I got a hit, that's what I mean. When I say I got a hit, that's it. They light me up. So now my research took me somewhere. Wow, unbelievable. This is one of the words that I got a very long time ago was MEMS, MEMS. Okay. MEMS is extremely popular in the research community right now because they're combining MEMS with nano. And as far as biomems, it's for brain stimulation, okay? And neuroelectrodes, it's called microelectromechanical systems. They're using it for all sorts of things. And one of the things that I looked up, it said that it's sometimes called a light bulb moment in the brain. And that they even have an abbreviation for, and it is, where the heck is it? Oh, no. I'm sorry, that's not it's a light bulb moment in the brain, okay? That's what this, and that came out of psmag.com, science. A light bulb moment in the brain, page 14. If you look on Wikipedia for biomems, it's called LOC. LOC stands for Lab on a Chip. Electrokinetics. Freaking incredible. So, one of the early things that they said, I'm putting a lot together because I'm talking. So when I'm actually verbalizing this and the words are coming out of my mouth and I'm remembering things from when this first started and like the word like MEMS, okay, came up. And of course I wrote it down, but I didn't, and I may have looked it up, but it didn't mean that much to me at the time. Especially since they didn't go into detail like they're going into now because it's the hot new technology of it's a application, okay? It's a delivery system for all sorts of jabs, let's say. We have, photonics is a big one as well right now. Here's another one. RF signals sent to the implanted MEMS, MEMS. Oh, one of the other things that they said to me, of course, I've said this many times, and it was, you know, they say cute things. It's like the CIA, how the CIA talks. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. They don't come right out and tell you. You have to figure out their little puzzle. All right, so Chips Ahoy. Chips Ahoy, I'd be sitting on my bed eating Chips Ahoy because I love chocolate chip cookies, and they would hit me they'd give me a light bulb, okay? The other one was women were having their breast implants removed in 2008 because of they were toxic and they were leaking, and I don't have breast implants. But the big news was breast implants, and they would hit me. Okay, I get the light bulb moment. So I took it literally, kind of ignored it, like breast implants. I don't have breast implants. What does that have to do with me? Well, it was just implants, okay, which I had. I'm sure everybody remembers my story with DiCorp. Oh, yeah, I'm pregnant. That's what I was getting at. They were telling me that I was pregnant. I wasn't pregnant. So once again, I was like, they're crazy. I'm not pregnant. I'm pregnant. No, now I know what. Why did it took me this long? There was something growing inside of me. That's what they meant by that. There was something. This thing was still growing around my brain. Because I didn't have brain surgery. I was sexually molested. And something went into my body. And when I say he probed every orifice in my body, I am not kidding. So.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I got that out.
Oh,
especially since this call is being recorded, because I can't take it anymore.
I don't think anybody can. We've all had enough.
I know. But it's 14 years. I can't. 14 years.
I can't believe it's 10 years. But it is. But guess what? It's 10 years for them, too.
So one of the other things was Dancing with the Stars. Now I'm bringing all this up because this was my disclosure. Okay, Hair Club for Men, Dancing with the Stars. This is my disclosure. Am I supposed to know that this is my? I don't know. This is my disclosure. I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So Hair Club for Men apparently was that I'm going to go bald, okay? And Frank, you are my witness to how much hair I have lost. I have a shopping bag filled. And what was the other one that I said? Oh, Dancing with the Stars. So about 3 weeks ago, I go onto the CIA website, and it said, "Join us." That's what it says, front page. Join us, and it said, "Our legacy." I went, "Oh yeah, your legacy." I looked down, and there is a picture of the tile floor they have in the lobby, that famous tile floor, and what appeared to be a star. All right, so it was like, oh, Dancing with the Stars. It finally meant something to me. I was like, Dancing with the Stars. And mind you, I was out dancing with them. Dancing with the Stars. And I was like, so in the search block box, it said, I typed in, your legacy, MK Ultra, torture, whatever I wrote, but I just did things like that. MK, that's your legacy, all right? And I sent it. Even though, like I said, I can't send an email, but who knows? Who knows? I'm sure I could send it to them. I was thinking about the stars, and I was looking up a lot of the CEOs, all right? And a lot of the board, not the CEOs, the people that sit on the boards are 4-star generals. I'm like, oh, my God, the stars, the generals that were there. That's who they were talking about. Who sit on the boards to all the defense contractors. That's where they go when they retire. They don't go away. They sit on the boards because you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. I'll give you the contract, but you're going to make my life real sweet in my old age. That's how it works. Anyway. Okay.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you for listening.
Well, as usual, Ann's got a very interesting story, and we've got Seal Beach, California. Would you like to step up to the mic? Come on, it won't bite you. It's the first time I've seen you here. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Hey, Frank.
I just get so frustrated when I hear people thinking it's somebody that they don't like, because psychologically that would be the first person that you think of, the person you had a fight with, the person you divorced, your boss who fired you. That's the first person. Like, who doesn't like me? Who would do this to me? Oh, it must be them. Okay? And these the real perpetrators, okay, are like what you were talking about at the opening, who are, who are using the signals, the signet, which is the other word they gave me.
Signals intelligence.
Signals intelligence, exactly. Signet. That's what's called signet. That's what they told me. This is who's doing it, but since they have surveilled you for so long, they know. So they're going to work on those feelings. That's what they're going to do. They don't want to get caught. They don't want you to know who they really are. So they will put the voice of that person who you had a fight with, or your neighbor, or whoever, okay, and they will put that in your head. Because they have the capability to do this. If they could read your brain signature, believe me, this is simple for them to do.
Okay, Ann, we've got Seal Beach, California, brand new person. You want to have a little round table between 3 people?
Well, let's see what new person has to say.
Go ahead, Seal Beach. Okay, I think they're having mic trouble because they're not coming through. Anybody else would like to speak? Now is the time. The mic is
Hello.
on. Hi, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. This is Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. I can relate to what this lady was sharing about how they mentally mess with their head and those flashing lights that she gets sometimes, because I get those here and there.
Oh, yeah. How's your van, John?
The brakes are going bad, so I've already replaced the front one. Now I gotta wait and trying to get some money up and replace the back one.
Okay, yeah.
But other than that, it's all right. I mean, the engine's not really running so good. It has nothing to do with the perps. It's just a lot of miles on the vehicle, so it's taking its toll because now I'm driving it so much. But other than that, everything's cool. It's too lazy to clean it. That I can probably blame it on the perps, because a lot of us that are on these calls have experienced where they get a full night's rest or at least partial rest, and then all of a sudden, within an hour, they feel real sleepy or being forced to go to sleep, and then feel tired where you don't want to do anything or they'll just attack you, and then you can't function and do anything. So that's pretty much what happens to me. So my van's kind of a mess.
You'll get a chance to clean it up.
Yeah.
Plenty?
Yeah.
It seems like all TIs go through spells where, okay, everything just dumps, and you don't feel like doing anything. You have to. And so you do the things that you have to do, and the things that you don't have to do, you sort of put off a little bit if you can until you feel better on another day.
Yeah, exactly. Or that time does come. It's weird because the past 3 days, actually the past week, my perps, I call them the Group 01 because it's just easier to understand who I'm talking about. But anyways, they've been doing this sleeping technique, and it's like 3 different types of sleeping technique at once. That's forcing me to feel real tired. I'm fighting it, and next thing you know, I'm falling asleep, and I sleep, and then when I wake up, I feel certain type of bothering acts and pain, and 2 different type of pain in my head and my body. And, you know, but all of a sudden, sometimes it just stops. Like, and it's in a distance, like somebody shifted the magnetic airway that's carrying the sleepy feeling away from me, and I can kind of feel it in a distance, and I can all of a sudden feel my body start to, like, recuperate from that torture of being forced to sleep, and all of a sudden I'm wide awake, you know, and so I keep notes of it, you know, I write it down and what happened, and then it happened a few more times, and then somebody, I don't know who it is, I think it's, I honestly, you know, I know that a lot of you guys have had problems with the police and stuff, but I got a feeling these certain individual police officers are the ones who are stopping it and trying to figure out how this magnetic and these other frequencies work, because every time they come around, the problems stop. I feel this shift, you know, and pulling in my body and head. And I can tell that they're being careful doing it, because I know my perps, these groups are one, they get violent, very violent. Anytime that I write things down, anytime I try to think to talk to somebody about some of the problems that was going on and explain it, oh, they get pissed. You know, they might not.
Yeah, I've experienced that too. Yeah.
So, you know, and it's weird. I'm not. I know that every single one of us live in different states, and we have had our experiences, and there's certain places you've gone, and all of a sudden you've gotten an attack and then certain pains, and then it won't stop. And there's times where certain people come around and certain things start happening, and it has happened. But, you know, I got a feeling that, you know, because of all of us been writing letters and going, but not pushing the issue of blaming who's doing it right away, just giving the fact of, hey, you know, this is going on. Somebody has these electronic equipment and they're using it, you know, and these cops, man, you know, there's a lot of good authorities out there, just like yourself. You know, there's all of us that are being attacked, and then we get these piece of shit perps and these stalkers that come on these calls and they try to act like if they're the ones who are being stalked and being, you know, tortured, and they share like the way we do, and we don't know whether to believe them or not, because they don't want to show their faces, or they won't not physically want to figure out a way to meet up. You know, all of us are always trying to figure out and be safe and figure out how we're going to meet, and most of us went to Ella's rally, you know, and a lot of us have no problems contacting one another physically when we get off these phones and talk to one another and get to know each other. And it's weird, like, I have had a lot of people, you know, that I've been having calls with, and then also physically meet up if they can, if they live here in Southern California. But the ones that do live here in Southern California that shared, I'm not going to jump to conclusions right away, but it just makes no sense why they don't want to meet up when there's other people that they have talked to that I physically met, you know, and they even said it. They go, that's weird. I understand that you don't want to physically meet right away because of the way we're being tortured and abused, and when we go to certain places, especially where you grew up, you know, and you got these fucking stalkers that come around and do these stupid-ass shit that looks normal, but it just sounds too crazy to explain. It makes you look like a 5150, you know, like you got a mental issue because of you're explaining something that seems like it's normal to do. But anyways, you know, and it's just like now I'm calling on them. Like, I would actually call them back or have a friend call them, like, dude, you know, or leave them a text message like, you know, I understand that you're being physically abused and tortured, and it gets to that point where you lose trust in anybody and you're not too sure, you know, who you can physically, who you can start, you know, to trust or whatever. But, you know, the only way you're going to heal is like you got to keep contact with people. And you know what's funny? They won't even come on these calls, or they do come on the calls and they stay quiet. I'm not talking about, you know, just anybody. There's certain individuals, you know, and we all know, we all been on these calls, and I know you experienced it because we do get some harassment. But other than that, you know, I'm just hanging in there. I'm doing good. Like right now, I'm in a pretty good mood. I'm pretty sure once I get off the phone, I'm probably going to get attacked. You mentioned Seal Beach. I got a feeling that person might be just a caller, just listening in. But I have, you know, I grew up around here, and I do know some people that from when I was a teenager growing up, and I've had them explain to me, he goes, it had nothing to do with you coming around, but he goes, there has been people like we hung out, had a barbecue, or we would actually run into them on the streets and we would talk and stuff. And we would talk about these certain effects that we would feel in our head and our body. And at first they think, you know, they would think that it's the wind or the air just being cold or being warm or something, you know, or they're just in a bad mood for some reason, or just moody in another for some reason. But after a while, when they really think about it and they would, like, you know, focus on that feeling, that bothering or just doesn't feel right, they'd explain it to me, and then they go, you're the one who passed out those flyers here, huh? And I was like, yeah, I passed out some flyers explaining about, like, directed energy weapons and synthetic telepathy and these other different type of electronic equipment that produces these magnetic radiation and microwave, and they're also, you know, other type of frequencies. And he's like, I knew it was you, man. And I was like, hey, you know, if you got any questions, I'll do my best to answer it. But what I explained to you, I'm never going to sit there and try to convince you. All I can do is just share and tell you about my experience of what I've gone through. I can only explain to you what I've found. But what I find online, if I go to a library and I can't find it in the book, especially if somebody did write it, I always look for the author that wrote it or whoever wrote it. And if I can't find it, I kind of put it on the side and leave a question mark, you know. And they're like, yeah, I understand. I go, because I don't want to give out the wrong facts. I don't want to just say something, a hearsay. You know, I want to make sure that I give out solid facts and you can go and find it on your own. And I always suggest, hey, best thing to do is get up and physically go to different universities and figure out which ones are doing the studies on synthetic telepathy and and different types of neuroscience of research, and see what they're doing. You know, if you find a school like San Diego State, San Francisco State, they have marina labs and they do a lot of synthetic telepathy type of research, study, and development. And they're the ones, that's where you want to focus on and go to the library, because there is a lot of information in those libraries from the years and years and years, you know, and you can probably piece things together. I go like an audio spotlight. You know, you can find that online, but it only works one way. But if you think about how technology is, every time you discover one type of technology to work, like a TV, look at all the different ways now you can use a TV and what it can and can't do. You know, I'm pretty sure you can do that the same thing with an audio spotlight. You can probably reverse engineer it once you take it all apart, and then trying to figure out, hey, can you add a digital type of frequency with maybe 1,000 different channels, and making sure that it's only these certain type of frequencies like they use in MRI machines or ultrasound, and use those type of frequencies. So you would have to build a new circuit board and develop and add two to three different type of technologies together and see how you can get it to work as one. You know, just stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I can't do it anymore, you know, because I was explaining before this COVID, I was doing my best to pass out flyers, and I think I passed out close to 1,000 flyers or more from San Diego all the way up here to LA, you know. and I was posting up whatever posters I can do it. And after each time that I would do it, man, they attacked me hard, or they would wait a few days and making me think and feel like, oh, you know what, they're not really attacking me. I accomplished something. So, you know, they forced these thoughts of, oh, you passed out flyers, so people are going to understand what they did. And if you get attacked and explain whatever it is, people would know because of the flyers. You know, they try to make me feel like, oh, hey, there's nothing that I'm not going to be attacked anymore. Next thing you know, the second or third day, I got like about, honestly, 20 different kids ranging. You can tell in their voice. It's got to be from like 4 years old to 11 years old, coming in from different directions. It's not just in the center of my head, but I have it in different positions and different distances. And along with those voices or accusations or supposedly that they're being attacked while they're attacking me and causing all these different type of torturing acts, painful ones. It gets to the point where I have to just go to the beach and get out of my car and walk around and go in the ocean trying to, like, figure out a way to ease the pain, And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about because we've gone through that. With me, yes, I have tried shielding. It doesn't work. They get around it and they make it increase the pain. They make it even worse. So that's why I don't even use shielding anymore. Sometimes I do, but to be honest with you, in my experience, it just doesn't stop it. If they're going to, my perps, the Group 01 perps, they're going to do what they're going to do, and they know and understand what to do now because they've been doing it for so many years, With other people, hey, if shielding works, yes, it does work, for certain type of frequency, certain type of magnetic airwaves, certain type of sonic, certain type of whatever V2K frequencies that they use to carry voices. It does work in some sense, and I'm pretty sure it does work with directed energy, but with me, they just don't, because maybe the way they have it positioned and the way they're in different positions in different parts of the city doing it from that direction, from different directions, so... But anyways, other than that, I'm doing good, Frank. I'm just hanging in there, and I do come on the calls and listen to a lot of you guys, and it just keeps me thinking about everything and then refreshes my memory about some things. I know that, hey, we want to forget about this because we never thought about waking up and going, yeah, I'm going to have a career of being attacked. We all thought of normal things. Hey, I'm either going to just have just a normal job and probably be a retail and work as a cashier, or some of us in college and decided to have a career in something, and now we have a career job, but we can't move forward because of all these attacks they're doing. And then, some of us want families can't even have a family because of mental bullshit that they do. When you talk about this, it makes people want to help in the beginning, but continue talking in the time, but the person that's not getting attacked and is listening thinks you're crazy or something. It's like, why do you keep talking about all this? I go,
Burlington, come on. You're breathing into your mic. Burlington, come on. You're breathing into your mic.
I'd like to ask the speaker what his flyers said.
Okay.
Exactly what did your flyers say?
It's hold on, let me get I can't even remember. It's let me get it real quick. It's something electronic harassment. It's a yellow or a red flyer that says electronic harassment, and I can't even remember, man, right now. There's 3 pages of it. One part is from Ella, Freedom from something. She's on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. That's the flower I've talked to her, and she said that I can use her flyer and add it with mine. And then mine, I have explanations about the different type of electronic equipment. I explained why I wrote Group 01, because that way there's no misunderstanding. It's better than just saying that person or those people, because it can mean anybody. And there's also
I've got another call. Jill? Hello?
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 Hi.
I think you're still on the TI call.
Right? I was just saying hi to Burlington, Vermont, because I'm in Burlington, Vermont also. So, bye.
All right, well, my name is Johnny. I'm from Orange County. I was the one that I was just sharing right now. I'm trying to think, and I can't. I'm kind of going all over the place or struggling to complete a sentence. So I'm just going to get off and just kind of kick back and relax and open up the mic to somebody else, Well, anyways, hey, Frank, it's nice talking to you again, and I'm doing okay. Just checking in with you.
Hi, how you doing? I had to leave for a sec. Do we have anybody that would like to discuss a new topic, an old topic, something that happened to you that you don't have an explanation for, that we can maybe help you with? Kat, just leave it the way it is. Yeah, I was just picking up something from the chat, but we got a great bunch of people here tonight, and I'd love to hear from everybody. And we can do it, too. We've got 58 people here. And I know a lot of you are listening and learning. Well, that's great. That's one of the reasons we're here, so that you can listen and learn. And we all learn. We're all teachers and we're all students. So we need some people up front here to grab the mic. Yeah, different anonymous. Yeah, I see that. Well, hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing?
Hello, Frank.
That's me. That's me.
Hi. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Just wondering if Sue is on the call. She brought up something the other day that was of interest.
Yeah, Sue. I'm getting an echo from you.
Yeah, it's their latest method of interference every time I try to talk, depending on the call. Is it still there? I can't hear it.
Are you on speaker?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you quite clearly.
Okay. There's no feedback?
No feedback, no.
Okay. Sue mentioned, and maybe somebody else, in conjunction with somebody else, that there were two centers in the U.S., two military bases that were centers for coordination of this activity, I think. One was in Colorado Schreiber, I believe.
Yeah, I've
and the other
I've just learned the reason why Hold on a second. I'm going to mute. Right. I have just learned the reason or the reasoning behind why Schriever Air Force Base was chosen. And there's no logic in the decision. It was just chosen. And I know that's hard to swallow, but grab some wine and swallow it, because that's the truth. The reasoning behind Schriever Air Force Base was not logical. It was based on time. The individual God, this is sick. Okay.
What was that time, Frank? When were these bases chosen to be centers for this?
The gentleman who did it. All right, I'm going to have to mute you. The gentleman who did it based the time difference between his location and Schriever Air Force Base, and his time was 7 o'clock, so he started getting hit at 7:10. So the gentleman decided that the nearest Air Force Base, I guess, was in the next time zone, because it was corresponding, I guess, to where the attack was coming from. So that's why Schriever Air Force Base was elected. No one was interviewed. That was BS. So put your hip boots on, because there's a lot of it around. And I'm not going to mention any names, but that's the truth. And I'll take my Bible out.
So those two centers are not necessarily verifiable?
Correct.
Okay.
Not necessarily verifiable at all.
Was there any year timeline as far as the?
This is. I can't with this situation. It's too close of a repeater. Gotta fix that. Fix your mic.
It's not the mic, it's interference.
No,
it's a new mic.
Okay, all right. Well, you're on top of my channel, I guess. You're very, very close. Does it happen on all the calls, or just this one, or?
Selectively. Selectively.
Okay. Because sometimes somebody will pile in, and they'll be so close that I'm actually you and you are actually me. I know that's hard to understand, but with the free conference call, there's a delay so that the other party can talk, and you can't break into that person's conversation, not necessarily, and there's a delay there, so you're actually sneaking in the middle of the delay, and my echo is in there, or my voice is in there. So there's something going on. If you call me up tomorrow, I'll see if I can help you root through it. I'll be quiet so you can talk. Go ahead. I'll mute.
So it only happens when two people are on the are trying to speak at the same time, or on the stage, so to speak.
Yeah. Did I get that whole thing? I just muted myself and unmuted myself so that you could talk. So I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. Thank you. I wish, well, I'm going to say some things. Can you hear me? Can I hear me clearly?
Actually, not.
No. Then maybe I'll hold off, Frank.
Okay, what you might try is try dialing back in again.
Yeah, I've tried that before. It didn't work. I can try it right now, but...
Okay, stay as far away from your speaker as you can. If it's a headset, well, I don't know.
It's earbuds with built-in mic.
Okay, yeah, because there's some Logitech headsets that are very inexpensive. I think they're around $15 or $20, and they do have a noise-canceling microphone, and they are excellent to use. They're USB. Just plug it in, and Logitech will create the driver, and they are fantastic. I highly recommend them. That's what I first used years ago. Okay, we still have 58 people here, and Anonymous is going to try and fix his headset. You know, there's a lot of people that buy gaming headsets, and it's a mistake sometimes because I think one of them is Black Widow. I bought a Black Widow headset one night when I had to have one real quick, and I will tell you, it had a little drummer boy in it. I don't know why, but built into the software of the gaming headset was this little drum. And okay, Anonymous just came up again. Is anybody else?
So, Frank, it's a phone I'm actually using.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe they have these sound canceling circuits for phone earbuds as well. I don't know.
Yeah, if you have it on, oh God, I can't think. Okay, we'll have to call me tomorrow. 857-8334. And I'll help you wade through that straight. Because it's really right on top of me. I can't handle it.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty bad. Funny thing is, I don't hear anything on my end, and so it makes for a lot of misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's a pain in the neck. Every once in a while, we run into somebody who has that problem, and we can usually figure it out. And more oftentimes than not, if the phone's cleaned out, shut off, and from a cold boot restarted, lots of times that will clean up. Okay, once again we have 58 people, and we need some people to speak. New comments, old comments, any comments, but I'm going to make a fresh pot of coffee, and that leaves the mic hanging here with no one speaking into it. We can't have that. But
I'd like to make a comment, Frank. This is Marilyn.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hello. Hey. Hello, everyone. So I was just, looking at my personal condition, which is not yours. And it's pretty much down to there's just nothing. There's leaving no room at all for nothing. And I had sent you that article from PBS about the Havana syndrome. And then I opened up another article, and it said why black women are saying no. And it's about gymnast Simone Biles. She's an Olympic star, and she's depressed. And there's some other athletes, a pro tennis player, beautiful young woman. She's depressed. Naomi Osaka. And then another individual who is, I guess, miserable. So I had to leave my job because they tortured me, and I had to go to ER. And I notice now that they're addicted to beating me, and so they figured out that you could mind control all kinds of physical problems. So I pretty much, I'm like a zombie. I'm like the Walking Dead. And it's, I'm just waiting for the program to stop. I'm just trying to stay alive. I don't enjoy anything at all at this point. This is just my experience, and I don't want any TI to have this experience or any non-TI. I want everyone to find something to give themselves pleasure, even if it's just for a few moments, and you should try to do that. When I used to get on the call and say there's 20-plus black people, I meant it. It really is a sexist, murderous attack on me by these kind of middle-aged and elderly black men who they're on disability, they're losers, they never went to college, they're experimenting with crack cocaine in their 50s and 60s, they're compulsively using brain-to-brain pornography and holographic imaging, they're paranoid from the drugs and the microwaves, they're using me as a punching bag, and now they are all completely mind-controlled to do anything that they're told most of the time. Not all of them, most of them. And, this article is interesting because, why black women are saying no. To have two star athletes that are black say, like, I'm too depressed to function. I can barely function. But I do things to keep what I have, which is I have, like, one friend, and I live with him, and I got flowers out of the garden and to put in little vases, mainly because they replicate themselves. And to, brighten up the room. Why should he have a bad view just because, I feel horrible, like Naomi Osaka, I mean, this woman's crying in front of the whole world, and it's sad. I have a schedule for my doctor to look at the CAT scan. She's going to bullshit me, of course. And then I have a MRI schedule with the neuroscience brain doctor here in Ohio. They finally gave it to me after seeing me get sick too many times, and I'm saying I have the Havana syndrome. My record, I told the doctor in the ER, and I'm probably going to tell him my job. There's nothing. I mean, they want to make everything, because we're a failure, we want you to be a failure. And this is like this narcissistic thing that's happened in this millennia generation where this comes out as a big topic in the media, or off media, not mainstream, but narc abuse in the country globally, that abusive people are getting way too much power with us. But brain to brain is different. It's hard to manage a narcissist attack from a group if they hear your thoughts, they see through your eyes, they feel your feelings, and they position themselves around you in the fish tank, over the fan, over the TV. And I go to sleep with my companion, and they talk over his breathing. They're trying to figure out how to enter his body. And you know how sick and abusive that is? They're actually trying to figure out how to get access to him like they have to me. And, you know, you should read slave stories about situations like this. It's not pleasant, and I will not tolerate it. So I have to go get a shrink, basically, and get medicated. But even, you know, the weight of an individual signal is, if they concentrate their signal in your body, they're doing this 24 hours a day where they're on my mouth. Like if you look at the TI from Atlanta, targeted individual, Christian, I think his name is, like the perp tells me, his name's Christian. He would say, they're in my mouth, they're in my eyes, they're in my face, they're all over my genitals. And I just really didn't understand what he was talking about until it happened to me, and I thought, oh my God, they're in my mouth. I can feel them. I can feel it in my lips, in my jaw, and my teeth vibrate, my bones. You know, it's depressing. It's so depressing. You know, so I just wait. I say, oh, one day they'll just kind of get bored. But now it's been 5-6 years for some of them. And they're recruiting. They're trying to recruit more people to come after me from the county. And they're labeling me the worst thing. And in addition to that, they're labeling it and they're making brain-to-brain graphic, holographic stuff of this stuff, of that kind of content. They are mesmerized by youth in the wrong way. And so it's just they're pummeling me with that, and they're trying to split me. And, you know, right when they think, oh, look, she's going to get, you know, a personality disorder, I'm like, no, I'm not. I want to be depressed, and I'm going to go get help from the medical community. I'm not going to sit home and let my personality split and have alters and all this stupid shit where, you know, no, I'm going to suffer. I'm going to, you know, if you make me vomit, I'm going to vomit, and I'm going to be fully aware of the torture. If I pass out, black out, I'm aware of what you're doing, and I'm not going to split to be in denial. But the brain is so sensitive, you know. So to be a young Olympian athlete and, you know, have, you know, a meltdown, I sympathize with these women, and especially, you know, a lot of us were right at the peak of being successful at something. If you notice, a lot of TIs were very successful, and just these regular losers in our towns just, like, want to take us out because they're jealous. They're jealous of joy, and they want you, they don't just want you to be miserable, they want you to join or die. So it's like, you can be one of us, and you can abuse us, and we find new people, TIs in the town, and you abuse them brain to brain. We'll let you in, and you can watch them, or you're going to kill yourself. And this is pretty much globally what it looks like. I'm not sure what is happening with all of you, but they're recruiting from the TI base. Like, I am a little bit detached from myself. Like, I'm talking, but my brain is floating somewhere else. So I'm, like, kind of watching myself talk. Black men are very vicious, and this is a dirty little secret in the black community, that we have some, I mean, the black feminist movement is serious. I mean, the shit that we have put up with on every continent from black men, and it's always like this attack on the white male. I'm sorry, you know, the white men are going to the moon. So, you know, and their women, that battle's pretty much over because their women are going to the moon. I'm not saying that represents the entirety of an ethnic group, but this kind of like poor misogynist that comes after you, and and black women in the 80s, the 90s, just coming in 2000, they just stopped. They finally had enough. But the feminist movement started, during slavery. There were like these black women that were feminists. And it got bigger and bigger. Even in the Panther Party, one of the reasons why it failed is because most of the ideas came from the women. And I was in a group called the Pan-African Panther Party in Dayton, Ohio. And I got tired of it, and then I took off and left the state because I got tired of the sexism and kind of dictating to the women, how we were going to think and act, and what, our participation wasn't really needed. So misogynist hatred in R&M, brain to brain, is they can batter you and nobody will know. And a lot of us know what that, women getting battered, white or black. You're at home and you're getting shot and they're punching your skull with V2K, whatever the tech that they're doing to you, the sexual assault. And when you get on the call, it's, I think we need to talk about this stuff and not pretend to be like strong, because one of the reasons sexism is such a problem in the black community is because black women keep pretending to be strong. And TIs tell this bullshit to each other where, try to be as normal as possible. And this is what black women do, because I heard it, I watched it. We know you have a black eye, but just finish your, do what you have to do. Don't let anybody know that you're in pain. Don't tell that the men are beating you and abusing you and raping your children in the black community. And there's incest. Like my mom was a counselor. She would talk about these young black women who were having sex with their relatives and getting pregnant. That's another, this is, let's tell. I mean, white people have pretty much said, we're tired of keeping these secrets about what's happening, and it has nothing to do with us being white. This is just what's happening. And black women are living by this code, this Black Lives Matter. No wonder she is a lesbian and bought 3 mansions in California, trying to save the image of a man that was doing pornography with girls and drug dealing and drug addicted and all these criminal elements in these different black cities like Chicago, Detroit, all these women that are by themselves with their children, and now they're targeted. Now they're TIs. Like, how many single black mothers are on YouTube hearing voices and getting raped remotely with a black kid? At least she could go to the father. I mean, what's really interesting is how many black men that are targeting me have children, reject their family and children to torture me and other people in the county. That they will, I hear, I don't give a about my child. Like, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm like, I don't even know who you are. This is all day long. I can barely do anything anymore. I can barely walk. I basically get in the car and I have to lean the seat back. I have to, I'm moaning. I don't even have the energy or the strength to scream. And there's still, like, right now, there's one guy in my stomach. The signal of this loser, he's concentrating on me, because, like, when they talk over your television, they're focusing their energy on you, and they hear your TV, and then they talk over your TV to make you think you're crazy, and they'll talk over the TV, and you say, oh, the TV's talking to me. It's not. It's some loser stalking you and he can see your TV and he can hear your TV, and he's going to try to trick you. And, whenever I belch, I can hear this person. They're in my farts, so they have no self-esteem. I mean, and a lot of us know they call it scat, or feces.
Okay, Marilyn, you're getting a little too graphic.
Okay, so the neuro weapon makes it so there's no privacy, basically. And
that's what we haven't had. We've never had privacy. I haven't had privacy for almost 10 years. They see what you and your girlfriend are doing, or you and your boyfriend, or whatever, and they just hang out there and gawk. That's what I call them, gapers, because they sit there with their mouth agape, wide open, just watching you, like these crazy people you see that go on these murdering sprees. I'll give you a good example. Dirty Harry, that creep that he was chasing, that was a psycho killer. And he just went nuts. And then Dirty Harry got him on the football field and got a confession out of him. And, of course, that didn't work because that's illegal. But
yeah, so I wanted to read this for the women who are targeted, and I'll stop talking. Okay, this is from this article called "Why Black Women Are Saying No." This is July 30th. This is PBS.org NewsHour. And this is written by Liz Bojel and Chloe Jones, so they doubled up on it. And it says in this quote, Dr. Cheryl Woods Giscombe, a psychologist and professor at the University of North Carolina, developed the Superwoman schema to give context to how the stereotypes surrounding black women's strength negatively impact their health. Now, this is for all women, what I'm going to say, not just black women. But the 5 characteristics of Superwoman's schema, SCHEMA, are perceived obligation to present an image of strength, perceived obligation to suppress emotion, perceived obligations to resist being vulnerable or to need help from others, a motivation to succeed despite limited resources, and a prioritization of caring for others over and above self-care. We call it a social historical phenomenon because historical factors have driven those characteristics. They don't just come from nowhere, but I think women are starting to talk about it more. So someone had said that after the protest, TI should be together. So if there's a TI that it's in your town, they need your help. And they have to take it because we want each other to live. And I need help. And I know the TIs that I know that are local need help. And I can see the mental illness on her face, that she's deteriorating from the targeting and trying to shield herself from DO and V2K and the abuse and becoming obese, eating to cope with the targeting, and anxiety and depression, and trying to be strong when abused by a military-grade weapon. Like we are trying to force each other to act normal so that we don't get, 501, 5150 in California or whatever they call it, Just don't show any weakness because you could be considered mentally ill, or we don't want your community to think you're strange, but you need help. And so we have to start to tell our community what's really happening to us and that we need help. And they don't believe you, it's fine. You're not going to harm anyone or yourself. You're just in need of help, and you have to ask for help. And it's okay to show weakness and to be to cry and to be weak and, you know, you cannot get out of bed. And, I mean, there's reasons why some of us are in bed most of the time. And if there's TIs that are not suffering like others, you could try to reach out to the TIs. They're all over the planet. Even a phone call. I knew a TI in Hawaii. She got locked up, and I talked to her. And you never know, these little calls could save somebody's life, prevent them from committing suicide. Or, you got to get in the shower, you got to clean yourself, you got to find the strength to, to keep alive, stay as healthy as possible, but you need help from other people. And that's just all I wanted to say. Just good luck, everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed your call, too. I've been having a lot of doctor's visits lately, so consequently I'm in the car all the time. So I'll definitely be home tomorrow all afternoon. So can you try me at after 2? Because when you try me in the morning, if I've been up till 5 a.m. and you try me at 9, that's a bummer.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I'm also, I'd said on another call, I was at a truck stop, not a truck stop, but a rest stop. And I saw soldiers, and I gave them a piece of paper saying I was TI, and had the Havana syndrome, and I was being tortured in the house. And they sent a cop from Kettering and a state trooper to the house. And I told them the truth, And, they were honest. They said, there's really nothing we can do about direct energy weapons, and we know that they exist. And now we have the Havana syndrome to back up our claims. And the PBS article, a lot of these news people, these journalists, they use the word targeted. There's a lot of us that send emails to these people. I mean, when there's an article, I generally send an email and I say I'm a targeted individual, and I do have it also. I live in Kettering, Ohio. I give them my address and my name and my face because I'm afraid for my life. And so that's one tactic you can use when there's a new article. You can send them, the journalist, an email and say they're not just doing it to diplomats, but they're doing it to regular people. One day we might get set free. It could happen soon. You just never know about these kind of things that occur. I mean, it could end soon, I mean, wouldn't that be great? That just one day we stop hearing them and they stop shooting us. This could happen. And so that is possible. That is a possibility. Don't believe that it's going to go on forever. You don't want to feed that kind of negativity into the atmosphere, because who knows who's listening, including the operator who's listening to your misery. The guy that shoots you, he hears you. He knows who you are. Mind control him to find something else to do. Like go to the movies or something. I don't know. Stop focusing on me and my house and the property and shooting into the area. Get a life. Like you're getting a little bit addicted to shooting me in the head, and like these people are real. And even if it's a computer program that's programmed to shoot you periodically and stuff, and it has your body hooked up to the BCI, there's a programmer who can hear I don't know, I can't prove it. I don't know, that your thoughts are text. Like, when there's a Google program where you can play an audio of text. It could be an article, a document you write, or an audio book, but it will read it. And you can pick the voice and stuff. This is all, I might send Tokyo an email and say, congratulations, but, in America they're torturing us to death. Besides the COVID. And now there's COVID-19. I mean, it's just like, who are these freaks at the top doing this?
Good question.
Yeah.
I was just looking at a guy's apartment. He's probably on here. Let me see. His name's Rod. He doesn't give me his last name, but he comes up with a lot of great information. I was just looking. He's got like 6 attachments here. He's building his Faraday cage, and it actually shows shots of it. But what Rod doesn't understand is this stuff isn't stopped by a Faraday cage. But he sure is trying, I'll tell you. He's got metal everywhere. I think I'll make this available. I don't think he'll mind. This is just his Faraday cage. It's not his living quarters. Hold on a second. Okay, Kat, did you want to speak? Yeah, Faraday cages don't work. That's what I just said, Kat.
Yeah, I was just backing you up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that try them, and there are electrified Faraday cages, but I think we're dealing with a scalar wave, and they go right through the Earth. So if that's the case, we have problems. Say that right up.
We certainly do. Have you guys heard of that satellite called, I think is it called NASTAR?
Navstar, yes, I've heard of that. That's supposedly built in California.
Yeah, it's, they claim that it's run out of Colorado from an underground community, and that at any one given time they can target, or they can locate 800,000 people from one satellite.
You mean Schriever Air Force Base?
I'm not really sure the name of the Air Force Base, but they claim that it's in Colorado, in Denver.
That's disinformation. You might be talking about Colorado Springs.
I think it was Richard Lighthouse. Maybe I heard him wrong.
Yep, that's it.
Because I think he's pretty credible.
Well, if you call me, we'll talk, and I will tell you the story. I can
post the video. You want me to post the video where I got the information? It's Richard Lighthouse.
Yeah, I know the video. I'm familiar with the video.
Oh.
He's been a guest on my radio shows, oh, God, dozens of times. So I'm familiar with, I was very disappointed to hear the information that I did. But his actual name is Winter Owen Calvert.
Okay.
But call me, 508-857-8334, and I'll tell you what's going on.
508-857
8334.
8334. Okay. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, it's just I don't mention names of anybody that's doing anything. I just try and stay away from that because it just leads to problems. There's a disinformation campaign going on, and I don't like it.
Can you tell me how you know that that's disinformation?
Because there was evidence presented to that effect.
Oh.
That Rich wrote himself, or Winter. I'm not trying to discredit the man. He has a theory, and that, let him stick to his theory. And I will agree to disagree. Once again, I have no problems with anyone. I just have a problem with disinformation because it destroys the community's knowledge base. Okay? So if we concentrate all of our efforts in one location that turns out to be disinformation, we've lost the battle.
Does he really work for NASA? Did he really work for NASA?
I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
Richard Whitehouse. Did he really work for? Didn't he say he works for NASA?
I really think, yeah, he did. I really don't know. Yeah, let's move on to another topic. And like I say, I was disappointed to hear a name.
Is there going to be, and how is the rally going to work this next month?
It's really hard to put together. Funding coming into the Allen Institute has been great, the people that have, but it should be a lot more, considering, well, I'm not going to get into it. Just donate. If you think we're cool, donate. If you don't think we're cool, don't. But, you know, we need it because if we're going to put together events, we have to have funding because, you know, everything's been out of pocket for me and I just can't do it any longer. Can't do it. But it's a great organization. It has the power to do many, many, many things. So we haven't even scratched the surface yet. It's helped a lot of people so far. But it's great to have all you guys on here tonight. And yeah, don't get confused between the two organizations. Targeted Massachusetts is one organization and the Allen Institute is another. It is a 501c3 and it is registered in Pembroke, Massachusetts. So we need some speakers up here to talk about something lively. It's 11:41. We're going to be here. This is Friday. We've got all the time in the world because the recording will stop at 1, and from then on, talk about whatever you want, including COVID-19.
Hey Frank, I want to ask, who's going to be taking over, like on the Sundays, since Neil's no longer going to be doing Sunday calls?
I think Kat was starting at 7 o'clock. We were going to grab 9 o'clock. But, you know, I thought Neil was, or Skizzit was still doing it. You got to I'll have to call him up.
Like, I passed on a call a couple of nights. I didn't see anybody in there, so.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe they're both tired. They've been really working hard for years and years. And maybe it's time for them to take a break and they'll come back later.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Neil's been around.
Yep. Yeah, he's a good guy, and he's got a lot of great information. And I hope they keep the website up there. And he's very familiar with Rife technology. And Rife technology is the curing of diseases with radio frequencies. Every disease has its own ID. Okay? So, Royal Rife is from Canada. Very famous gentleman, very famous organization. And he's been through hell trying to get people to accept Rife. And Rife is the future. And I believe that maybe possibly, well, I can't, I'll say it after the recording shuts off. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to say about certain things, and I can't say them with the recording on either. So, yeah, it's a sad situation that Rife technology has been kicked around. Because Neil will not go to a doctor. He will not trust a doctor ever again. And for good reason. He had his house burned out from under him. I mean, you name it, it's happened to Neil. So he is one hell of a good guy.
Yeah, out there in California. I remember him telling the story.
Yep. He was finding some bizarre occurrences above his residence, and he was into some research, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I came across a website. I don't know how legitimate it is, but they was talking about on scalar technology. They were using it for, I guess, you know, if you go to like a spa for healing purposes on the body.
Okay, yeah, they've been using it for over 100 years on farms to promote crop growth. Over 100 years. And it's this one company produced the same oak box, which was traditional back when they started making it, and they didn't stop using the oak box because they couldn't ground anything to the case. Anyway, they could use plastic, but they stuck with the oak. And I have yet to find them. I've been looking for them since 2015 with no success. I have to get in touch with John Hall because he knows the company name, and that's all I need, and we'll find it. But that's a Rife machine that was relatively inexpensive. It was $200, and it was quite powerful. But they used a number of them on farms, and the difference between a farm that used the scalar wave and one that did not was amazing. So the scalar wave, a lot of people, even in the community, say it does not exist. Well, I can Google scalar antenna. You will see an antenna wrapped around a round object, and it looks like a barber pole almost. But that's a scalar antenna. You can look up scalar generators. Don't be fooled by the Q-wave guy, because the Q-wave guy thinks he's got everything out there, but he has raked more TIs over the coals than probably any company I know. Q-wave is $700, and a lot of people seemed to get relief for a couple days, but it was the placebo effect, I think. And so they had $700, and it was an unreturnable item, from what I gather. So, That's all I can say about that. I'm just trying to steer TIs that I know and love, which is all of you, away from things that I know are bad and we're disinformation-wise. And we can't have disinformation. The biggest enemy.
Yeah, the Q wave, when you first get targeted, you believe there is something that can block it. There's nothing yet. I mean, if there was something that could block it, we'd all have it. All over the world.
Good night, Joe. I think Joe's leaving. But we have to research positive grounding in the earth, because this goes into our friend from the late 1800s and 1900s, Nikola Tesla. He has locked some secrets away or taken them to his grave, or unfortunately given them to the FBI. But a lot of his experiments I've completed, and the things that he did are unbelievable. But the things that we don't know about are the things that we're fighting, I think, because Nikola Tesla is responsible for every car going down the road, every power tool you pick up, every tool that's electric that you use, any radio, any computer. His work is in there, in the form of the coils that he designed, in the transformers that he designed. The very first example of, let me see, what will we call it? See, I'm being led astray here, we'll say, by our good friends here, the perps. Extreme exaggeration on my part. Let's just call it remote electricity for now, because that's all I can get out. But the very first form of it is a transformer with a first stage, a separation, and a second stage. And in between, electricity is traveling. Yeah, going from 110 down to 12 volts. That's a step-down transformer. But we owe him a lot. We owe him everything. Hi, Tracy.
Hello. Did I not mute myself?
Yeah, you're unmuted. Talk.
No, I meant to push *6 and I guess I didn't, so you could hear me. Sorry, that's so rude. I'm sorry.
No. I've been getting your emails. I've just straightened out my... Yeah, I've gotten rid of a ton of updates from, like, the Boston Crier or something like that, which doesn't exist anymore. That was just an example. But, yeah, I'm starting to see all my emails again. So, you sound...
Did you hear me slam the window and heavy sigh and all that?
I don't think so. I think we missed that.
Oh, good. Good. It was depressing sounding, so I'm glad you didn't hear that.
What is your situation?
Oh.
Are you improving?
I'm overwhelmed, let's put it that way. Just a lot going on. I've got 2 GI appointments coming up this week, and then another doctor after that, and then I've got this stuff going on with my apartments, and then that's got me stressed out because they really like to play on the homeless, scare me to be homeless thing. But I know that that's just kind of a delusional thing. I have a year lease. I'm under a year lease. I'm not behind in any money. I haven't done anything wrong. I don't have a criminal record. So that's just me, them trying to play on my fears. So I've got I'm working with the disability services company. I've got the ADA, the Fair Housing Act. I've got the Civil Rights Commission in Denver. I've got all these people I've been talking to and that support me. So I had to get some, some backing and some, things going on in my corner so that I felt a little less afraid, and I feel less afraid now. So we'll see what happens. I'm supposed to go meet with the office with one of the gals from the disability services place here for the county. So, but I already got a counter offer email today. I haven't read it yet, but it says something like some kind of a counter offer. Meanwhile, I just am dealing with all this health stuff, all this B2K crap. It's just, I'm just tired and overwhelmed. And just trying not to fall through the cracks and be bulldozed. That's my fight, is to be treated like a number, like I don't matter, or I'm just one person that has no rights, which is a lie, because I do. So that's my battle. That's what's going on with me, to say the slightest. But anyway, that's what's going on with me. How's your eye? Is it better?
My eye's okay. I had an injury, and I had to make sure that I didn't have a fracture, and that's what I'm working with now.
Good. I hope it's not too bad or anything.
No, it's not. Nope.
Good.
It's not bad at all.
I hope I didn't jump in and sound like Debbie Downer.
What's that, Tracy?
I said I hope I didn't jump in and sound like Debbie Downer down you there for a second. Okay.
No. Everybody's got their trials and tribulations that they're going through. We all do.
Yeah.
And, all got to stick together. Stay tight.
Yeah.
Stay in touch with each other. Don't let anybody fall off the list. And oh wow, what happened to her 2 months ago? We have to know if somebody disappears. We have to know the same day. So
yeah.
Yeah, Kat, I want to hear your entire story. But yeah, I know that your health is going up and down, and I don't like to see that.
Yeah, it seems to be par for the course. It's this is how it gets though. Before I've almost died, like 3 times. And with my liver failing, my pancreas, they hit all my organs and block everything off so that it starts failing. But this is how it gets when that starts to happen. So I just start to double up on the medical and all the, just push at it and make sure that, the usual medical stuff that it tends to, regular medical tests tend to, slip by. They hide behind, what it looks like it would be with regular medical testing is not my case. It takes more extensive stuff to find out what's really going on with me. So they kind of hide behind that for a little while until they really start, having to get into do a lot more definitive. They almost sent me to the Mayo Clinic a couple of times. That's how bad it got. So, it's just more proof for me, more medical proof against them, and more proof for me. So, anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like you're congested, extremely congested. I don't know if that's my imagination or...
No, I am in my chest, and I'm very, very tired. I haven't slept. So my throat gets congested, my chest, and my head. So, yeah, I don't sound normal. I sound... and I'm very, very tired, so...
You know what helps, Tracy? Try some saline solution. It's really inexpensive. And just a couple of shots in each nostril, and that salt is going to kill any infection up there. And it's also going to keep your sinuses moist because it retains the moisture.
Yeah, and my mom said also to gargle in my throat with salt water, which seems to help too.
Yes. I've done that.
I have also a tooth that's broken in half that's about to abscess that I need to get done. So I need to gargle also with salt water, and that helps too sometimes. Thank you for that.
I had a medical condition. I broke something, finger or a foot or something, so they gave me a steroid. And I noticed that it gave me a little edge in my targeting for obvious reasons, Right. And I'm not saying you want to alter your chemistry to fight, but I did notice. I was like, oh, I feel great. And I said, let's go visit my friends. I felt more positive, and it was great. And then my hand healed, and then I didn't get any more. And I was like, oh, bummer. And like athletes take it. I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything. I had another idea. So
it can make you high too. I've heard that from bodybuilders that take steroids. It can give you kind of a high.
If we could have like a TI Zoom event, and then a bunch of us Zoom, and it doesn't have to be about our misery. It could kind of be like we have fun on Zoom.
You can do video on here if that's what you want.
Yeah, and get a couple beers and kind of have like a summer Zoom party on, live stream it. And you can still come up with ideas, and it's a lonely world being a TI.
Kat, did you find out what it costs to get into Zoom? I mean, I thought I researched it years ago and it was expensive. Have they reduced the costs? I guess Kat's not there.
I'm here.
Marilyn.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I had myself on mute.
Okay. I know that Marilyn, I think, downloaded the app and stuff, and I've downloaded the app before, but I've gotten to a point where it looked like they wanted $2 but no, I didn't sign up for it. But that's what Catherine Horton uses to live stream to YouTube. So it might be something worth looking into.
Well, maybe it's something that we can all chip in on. Like, I don't know, we could have a GoFundMe page for our Zoom chat meetings or something.
Okay,
I don't know.
We'll think on that.
Something.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It says there's Zoom Basic. It says Zoom Basic gives you unlimited time for one-on-one meetings, but group meetings are limited to 40 minutes. With Zoom Pro, you can host unlimited group meetings up to 100 people and collaborate as long as you need without worrying about time limits.
And how much is that?
How much is that one?
Let's see. The cost. Buy it now. So, Pro, 100 participants, is $14.99 monthly.
That's not bad.
That's it?
Yeah,
God, that's
and
good.
$149.
That's cheaper than Netflix.
$150 annually for 100. For 300 people, the business one, it's $19.99 monthly and $200 annually. And for education purposes, which would, that could be like an activist kind of experience. You can do 300 people.
That's not bad.
I'll put the link.
Hey, Marilyn.
In the chat.
Marilyn, you have this high-pitched noise in the background. Is that your tinnitus coming through?
Oh, no.
Is it?
I'll mute that. That's my attempt to get them to leave my brain.
All right, well, leave it on. Leave it on. It's not bothering
it doesn't work. It doesn't work because they're all they take drugs. When the perps are drug addicts, you're basically you almost have to become Buddha or something. Because you can't, they feed off of everything. And that was I was trying to do Jet Li stuff and sword fighting and holograms, and I basically waste a lot of energy. I mean, I kicked their ass for a couple years straight, and then they figured out how to control my brain. I was just like, well, this sucks. 20 people against one, and then I went and got the Bible, and then they tortured me reading the Bible. So now I just I look at handbags, and I thought that would chase them off because they're men. They do, whatever your perps hate, and then they kind of go away, just keep doing that. They hate, the people torturing me, they hate when I'm in a group of a large group, crowd of white people. They get intimidated. And I'm like, wow, I feel great. I almost forgot they were there. Because they're mesmerized, staring, at the other, because you have cameras in your eyes. So these people are so stupid. We should do a Zoom and just mock them. Do a mocking Zoom. Have theme Zooms. You do a Catherine Horton, William Benny Zoom, where we talk about our implants, and then you could have, humiliate the perps, where we just gang up on them as a group. Anyway, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, here's an idea. Maybe I'll do this. I'll get on a roller coaster. You know? I'll get on a really fast roller coaster and do it all day and just have them look through my eyes. You know?
And that'll drive them right out.
The one time I'll get peace and quiet on a roller coaster.
Okay, guys, I'll be right back in about 5 minutes, okay? Or less, actually. Marilyn, you got the con.
Thanks,
Marilyn, I was sometimes when I get on my phone, I go through my email, and it's like when I rip through it super fast, it seems to like really piss off the whole system. You ever notice that? Like I'm reading through zipping through my emails to see what they are. It seems to like trip it up for some reason or piss it off. So try that. I mean, I've gotten retaliated against for that, but it does seem to, when you rip through your emails, the titles of the emails, and you're just ripping through them really fast, it seems to just like trip it up because it can't keep up with all the titles that fast.
Oh, so you just read. So you check out your email, and then you go to your inbox and just read them fast.
Yeah, you go to your inbox, and I like to rip through mine real fast just to see, which ones I need to look at, that are maybe urgent or something, and I skip the rest of them. But, just to see if maybe there's an urgent one that came in, and that seems to throw it off, because it can't keep up with that many titles, because I just zoom through them, and I recognize the ones that I've already addressed, but I just notice how it tends to throw it out of whack, like it throws it off track where it can't keep up, and then it has to, because it's constantly having to trace everything we do or try to control everything we do, through the brain. So it's like it seems to have trouble with that. Try that sometime, but don't do it too fast because sometimes it's like a catch-22. Don't do it too long because it will try to get you stuck on that too,
Right. If you like if you have a schedule and you do it all the time, you do the same thing every day. I've tried that, and then it's kind of like, oh, you're gonna get up, you're gonna brush your teeth first, and then you're gonna floss. Don't forget to get your thing. You always do that. And then I become so hostile and psychotic. I'm like, why are you telling me to do something that you know that I'm going to do?
They love when you change it up, like you switch it up on them. They're about predictability, and it's like when you switch it up on them and you change it up, spontaneity, that kind of thing. It seems to throw them off too. It seems like.
Yeah, I also one trick you can use if you go to YouTube, you get an audio, whatever you want to listen to, and you turn it up, the speed. You turn up the speed, so you go to the settings, and then you go to playback speed. I always go to 2, and then I try to follow what they're saying. Dead silence is good, but that is... I got harassed into not listening to headphones, and this pervert totally got control over my brain because of that. They made me feel so icky. 'Cause I could hear them more in the headphones, and I was like, ew, I turned into a little girl. I was like, that's gross. But that was the worst mistake I made. Is not keeping the audio in my ears. Now what they do is there's a guy, a crackhead, he's a dealer. When I put the headphones on to punish me, he says, everyone concentrate on Marilyn's brain and go into the sound. And all of a sudden it's like a bunch of crazy, it's like the projects are in my head. I'm like, oh, my God, now you're all inside my skull. And then I have to take the headphones off. But then if you're outside, the best thing is to be outside. I'm thinking of putting the tent in the backyard and sleep out there, because then their voices carry into the clouds, into the sky, into the crickets. When you're in your house, they swarm you like hornets, and they concentrate on the stupid things in your house, like the dumb sounds they can find to fuck with you. So we had a hornet's nest in the backyard. And, I'm very earthy, crunchy, even after all this. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it was on a pear tree. And I'm reaching for the pears, kind of thinking. And one bit me today. And I thought it was like being shot with direct energy weapons. I was like, this is like due. My friend got bit like twice. These giant like hornets, and he went out and tried to vacuum them in the HVAC today, and I started crying because I have PTSD. I don't want you to die. Don't try to get, and I call his brother. Don't let, hysterical. That's why I was saying, like, maybe I'll get steroids. Because now I'm like, I mean, I'm menopausal, but like, there's so many men attacking me. I need a little edge.
Yeah, it's so hard to like, find ways to like throw them off so you can have as clear thinking as possible. But that email thing, when I'm going through my email thing, it seems to shut them down a little bit where I can have clear thought, because I'm like, they're based on predictability. They don't know what the next 100 of my emails are going to say. You know what I mean? So it just, anything that can like, trip it off or do anything spontaneity or like change it in any way seems to kind of, trip it up a little bit where it can, clear your thought a little bit. It seems to help for me anyway. Sometimes.
Yeah,
which is all what we're after, our own independent, clear thought, Wouldn't that be nice to have that all the time?
I did. I went to TJ Maxx and got a tea set and some little teacups, and cause my mom got these little teas for Christmas, and she said, "Oh, I'm never going to drink all this," and she's targeted. And I just love the teas, and I remember, thinking these are, tea is so awesome. I was reunited with tea. So I did it. I tried to be like a geisha at home. I said, I'm going to be disciplined so I can control my movements and my brain. I'm going to wake up, clean myself, make sure the home is neat, and then I'm going to get my tea and be polite and ladylike. And I did that for about a month, and it worked. Of course, tea is good for you. I wasn't drinking or anything, and.
Have you ever read the book Memoirs of a Geisha? It's hard. It's during World War II, and it is, it is very discriminatory towards women and how, but it talks about the ritual of tea and the discipline of it and the thinking and when you're doing. I remember doing. Methodical things like cleaning and dusting and, not to be sexist or anything, but there's something to be said for doing things that are methodical. It makes your mind think something different, just like creative thinking seems to throw them off too. But whenever I would do things like simple tasks, just like methodical things like cleaning and dusting, and it seems like I got my thought was clearer, because you have to switch to a different type of thinking. It's very methodical, it's simple, it's tangible, and it seemed to help too.
Right, and another way too, because these people are losers. Wake up when if you know their schedule, like if they're total bums, because they want to they gang stalk at night, not just you but other people. So they'll target your brain for a couple hours if you notice, and then they go and they find other people to do this too. But if you wake up really early and do all your tasks when they're kind of groggy, you have more control over your brain because they're asleep, or they're half asleep. And also, I hate the shower now. Like I'm not geisha girl anymore. But if you do I know some people have to empty themselves before they get in, and that's because I'm really anal about that. Like I'm Freudian, mentally ill. But if you get in the shower, do all your tasks as soon as possible, early, before the neighbors even get up, and then you have the morning to yourself, and they're kind of stupid, these synthetic telepathy assholes. Everything's clean, everything's done. You don't have to worry about anything. And if you have a job, you go to work. And but a nice organized home, and do clean yourself really early. I mean, even if they wake up and they're like, "Oh God, she's grabbing the soap," I mean, they're really we all know what they do.
But there's something to be said for simplicity, in the menial, or in the simple things, the pureness of those things, it's, and I don't mean pure like virginal, I don't mean it that way, but in simplicity, in those things, your mind, and it's hard to explain because it seems like anal, but it's not. It's very freeing, and it's very clearing of your thought and pure of your thinking. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain a little bit, but it's in those simple things. Your mind can be free and clear. I don't know. I mean, it's harder now, of course, to do it because you've got the peanut gallery going on, but to in the back of your head, but to focus on those things even more, or at least to practice that, to keep the peanut gallery at a distance the more you focus and concentrate on something, the harder it is for them to put you into entrainment also. So it's like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, something I learned, and I went through some, Buddha. I read Buddha and some meditations and just all different, anything that I could get my hands on that would improve my spiritual, my mental, my physical, my humanity, like as much as I could strengthen that as much as possible, which it's for the technology part of it, it's then at a disadvantage because it can never be human. It's not human. It can't think like a human. We can train it to and program it to, and then the people that are doing this stuff are gang stalking, they're mind controlled to do stuff. So they're less of free thinkers. They're more mind controlled too. So it's the more you can buff up on your humanity, because that's what it's trying to, dilute and take away, the better, It seems like for me it worked anyway. But to each is, each his own.
Yeah. I mean, if you have this kind of torture where they don't want you to do anything without them being aware of it, but they want to control it, and even when they make you uncomfortable and you want a clean, simple life, and they're agitating you, still do it anyway, because you don't want to sit there in a filthy home and a filthy body while you get a bunch of perverts. You don't even know who these people are. And I hate looking at the kitchen floor. I used to clean twice a day. I showered twice, so that was really out of it. Now I'm like, oh God, I see coffee all over the floor, and I'm like, I might need to get a maid. I have no money. If you're a rich TI, and you could just hire someone to come and do everything for you. But, I have to clean tonight so that I can have tomorrow, a more peaceful tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
It's just weird.
That's good, though. That's, planning ahead. You've got your
because right now they're
that will give you
holographic. They're in their holographic, stupid, looking at each other's thoughts, making up stupid stuff to think.
Yeah, but that will give you peace tomorrow. That's good. Planning for peace, for yourself. That's taking care of yourself. That's good.
Hi, I'm back.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, Tracy, your voice sounds kind of raspy, hon.
Yeah, I know. I hope I'm not getting sick. I think I've gotten so stressed out, and so I'm finally just now taking a breather, and I think it's catching up to me. I'm about to fall asleep here pretty soon, but I've just been going, stressed out about, in the home, I have, even when I was a single mom with my daughter, I was always so afraid of being homeless and that not providing a home for her, which it never did happen. It only happened later when I was by myself. But that is one of the ones that scares me the most. And so this whole thing, discrimination with my apartments and things like that, has really got me stressed out. So I think I'm kind of, it's got me walloped, and hopefully I'll sleep all night and I'll do some self-care tomorrow so I can get caught back up. But thank you for being concerned about me. I appreciate it.
Well, I've known you for a while now.
Yeah. I'm just super tired.
Gotta keep an eye on you. I don't want you out in 5-degree weather anymore.
Yeah, that was rough. There, yeah, for a little while.
Okay.
But
I'm
gonna try to do some lemon and honey and tea, chamomile tea and lemon and honey before I go to bed for my throat. So, go ahead.
Okay, I just put in the chat, the commercial fishermen in Hingham, Massachusetts swear by this women's product called Skin So Soft. It's supposed to be the best mosquito repellent there is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's in it?
I don't know. It's a women facial product.
Avon makes it. It's been out for 20 years or more. It does not work. I have used it. It does not work. It may deter them a little bit, but if you're prone to mosquito bites, you will still get it. I always have a bottle of it. I mean, it smells great. It's an oil. It's a bath oil, actually. So you would put it in a spray bottle with some water and spray it on you. It's good for your skin, and it smells really great, but it's not. Mosquitoes will find their way around it.
Yeah, Avon has been making it, though. I remember buying it in high school.
Yeah.
That skin so soft in Avon in high school. Smells really good.
Yeah, a whole dock full of commercial fishermen aren't wrong. And I'm talking 20, 30 boats. All the guys use the stuff. And they don't care whether they smell like, pinky. It doesn't matter. It keeps them alive.
When you're targeted and you're giving off carbon dioxide, those mosquitoes want you. That's what they're after. I was never bitten in my life. I would be on a golf course. I would watch my friends covered in mosquitoes. I wouldn't get one mosquito bite. I was like, remember the hand that went into the mosquito tank? And I never gotten bitten until now. Now they just come after me like I'm a magnet to mosquitoes. I have tried everything. They bite through, and I hate using DEET. I hate putting it on my body, but it's gotten to a point where I think I'm now allergic to mosquito bites. It's so bad, and I've actually used off extra strength, and they still bite.
Mm.
So
yeah,
it has to do with targeting. As a matter of fact, Kate actually recommended. She said the golfers, on the golf course, they use niacin, and there was actually a cutesy name they put on the niacin golfers or something like that. And I've been using niacin, and that's not helping either. So.
May I suggest something?
Okay.
Hi, Ann. This is Sheila.
Hi. Hey, Sheila.
Yeah, you know what I do? I'll tell you what I do, because I have birds, and mosquitoes nowadays with all the problems, animals, you don't want them around your animals. I take paper towels. I don't want that stuff on me either, you see, that spray. And I spray, put it in the hall there and spray on the floor and go ahead and spray it real good. And then I take and put them around, and they don't come around. I don't get bit, ever. But you take and put them, even with you, got a pocket, put the paper towel down, let it hang down a bit, out of one of your pockets or something, and it keeps them away.
Well, Sheila, I do spray my clothes down when I don't want to get it on my skin. So I spray my clothes down. Do you know they bite me right through my pants? Right through my pants. I killed 4 the other day on my clothes.
Oh, they bite right.
Unbelievable.
Huh.
It has to do with being a TI. It really does. It's the only explanation that you're giving off, and it's not because you're a TI. It's because the anxiety, you're letting off more CO2, and CO2 is what attracts mosquitoes. Mosquito traps are made of CO2.
The stress, because I get swarmed and my friend doesn't, and he's really calm. So that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, huh? I don't think any of those sprays are good for you, though. You know what I mean? That's why I do that. And I get back.
They're not.
No.
They're not good for you. You're right. That's poison.
I would spray them on the screen and stuff, to keep them. Yeah, they can still get in, Spray it on the screen.
Can you guys?
Go
Can
ahead.
I hop in really quick? What did you say that you put on the paper towel?
Just your regular, off sprays, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Just spray it on your paper towels. I get a lot of them. Then I reuse the paper towels. I put them in a little bucket, and I take them out at night. I just did it a while ago, and I spray it. And then I kind of put them around a bit. They don't get on anything. It doesn't leave anything on anything. But you're not putting it on your skin. You're not breathing that right in that area. You shouldn't be breathing that stuff.
Yep.
Thanks. But it really does work. Yeah.
Okay, what about citronella? Yeah, what about citronella? Has anybody tried that? I mean, it's age old.
I tried it. I had a 5-foot citronella plant. A 5-foot plant just died last year. Beautiful, gorgeous plant. And I've tried citronella. I grew it. I had the original, the pure oil. Sometimes if you put citronella candles around, that'll keep them away. But, you have to walk around with candles around you. They took, my gardening. That's the love of my life is gardening, and I can't even do that anymore. It's miserable with the mosquitoes around. But citronella you could even put it in a torch lamp. The oil, citronella oil in a torch lamp. I've tried everything. And it's good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just that you're not going to carry the torch, wherever you go when you're gardening, carry the torch around with you.
Do you eat a lot of sugar? I'm sorry.
No, it's not my diet. My diet has not changed. I'm telling you, in the past, before this, they wouldn't come near me. It's like I had poison blood. They wouldn't come near me. And now it's just the opposite.
Patchouli is supposed to be great, too. Patchouli is an essential oil.
Well, rosemary, peppermint. I've mixed a lot. But someone suggested something for pets the other day. I didn't get to the store yet, but I'm going to try it. It was on Shark Tank. She said something side.
Lavender actually comes from sheep, and before they scent it, it smells like death. That's lavender.
Really? Huh. Yeah, from all. Well, you know something? That's the other thing I do. But it's very uncomfortable. You know the Vicks Vapor Rub? That's camphor and eucalyptus. I'm telling you, I tried everything.
Yeah,
and I get like globs of it. It's been around, Vicks Vapor Rub, right? I get globs of it, and it's greasy because it's like has a petroleum base. And I just put it all over myself. But it's greasy. Everything sticks to you. It's, figure if the mosquito's going to land on me, it's going to stick to this, like, Vaseline. But, and boy, what a smell. But That'll work if, I want to put up with being a greased target. So the other thing they do is now the itching is so uncontrollable when I'm not being bitten by mosquitoes because they have copied that sensation of the itch, and they'll do it to me when I'm in the house without the mosquitoes.
They're doing that to me where you feel like you stingy little bug bites.
Oh God, I'm like a maniac scratching my body, and there aren't any bites. So they copy the sensation.
Like natural. So when the last couple of years they've been shooting me in my face, and I was always like, I was always told as a young person, your skin is so perfect, and I was a very humble girl. And then I said, they're spraying my face. I said, oh no, now I'm going to look bad. And so I went to TJ Maxx and got the that citrus serum where it takes off the dry skin and all that. Then I said, I'm going to pay for this. And I got some lemons, chopped them in half, took little pieces, like little slices like you'd put in a cocktail, and I rubbed it all over my face over and over. I just sat there and did this all over my face, and I washed it off. My God, my skin was so clear and so young looking. And then I said, because my hands are really old looking and stuff, then I did it to my hands, and I couldn't believe it, lemon. And then you wash it off, and then you moisturize your skin. And so the dew scars were a lot less. And then my friend said, because she gets shot, and she said, put it on your head, because I've lost a lot of hair. And I put it on my bald head, and it made my bald head look smoother and younger. Everyone should try it. Lemon, rub it, and it will get all that nasty negativity of the microwaves, the perps. Oh, they're totally inside of me. Then you can do a lemon fast. That will really help you feel better. It's hard, but in the end, it will pay off.
Well, if you want to enhance it, what you do is you sprinkle baking soda on the lemon before you apply it, and then you rub the lemon. You don't do like you'll do half a lemon that's squeezed already, okay? The lemon is squeezed. You just have the pulp and the skin. That's what you're going to use. You're going to use the pulp. You sprinkle baking soda in the pulp, and you rub it in circular motions on your skin. That exfoliates, and the lemon will brighten, as you know, what the lemon can do, which is really, you're right, fantastic for your skin. But the baking soda will be a mild abrasive, and it'll take all the dead skin off.
Yeah, and scars. So if you're having scarring problems from dew, whether it's on your legs, or you can rub the lemon on the scars. And also I try, because I even get really desperate to get these people off of you. I got Himalayan salt, because everyone was talking about it. Himalayan salt. So I bought it. I bought the salt, the Himalayan salt that you consume. And I watched the Sidney Poitier movie where he goes to prison and he sees his dentist, and when he gets out, and it says, wow, you still have all your teeth. And this is a really old movie, and Sidney says, I brush my teeth with salt. And he was like, this Hindu actor, he's like, what? And I went and I tried it. It's my tongue, my mouth, my face, salt on my face. But you have to, right after that, you have to oil your skin. You can use cheap baby oil too, but they're just, I feel dirty just thinking about them. These perps.
Yes, you know, my grandparents didn't have toothpaste. They used salt to brush their teeth. That's what everyone used before toothpaste came along.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now we could use baking soda.
Well, we came from the water. We know that. We crawled out of the water. Fact. I think everybody knows that anyway.
I watched the documentary, Seaspiracy. Seaspiracy. It's on Netflix. You'll never eat fish again. Unbelievable. I wanted to tell you about it, Frank, because I know, I mean, I was a fisher person. You were, I believe you had a boat, so you probably fished. Yeah, unbelievable. But what really is unbelievable is the inner workings, the protection agencies, how they're in bed with it. I equate it to our targeting, okay? Probably works on the inside the same way, the way, you know, they close their eyes and look the other way when it comes to us. Or when it comes to fish. Know that label on the fish can? Certified Sustainable? That blue label? You have to watch it. They get a kickback for every stamp put on a can. He went to the, oh my God, the Parliament? I think he went to the Parliament. He traveled all over the world to see what's, you know, the fishing ethics. And there is no sustainable fishing. There's no such thing.
Now, what's happening with the fish?
It's slaughter. The documentary name is I'm sorry, not fish. I said it wrong. Seaspiracy.
Hello?
We're all here.
Oh.
I don't know where.
I was just wondering if you're still there.
Everybody's so quiet. Hello.
Hey, Frank. Is that Frank?
That's me.
Hey, Frank. How's it going?
Good.
What's going on with you?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, me too. One day at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Frank?
Yes. Hi, Lou. Hi, is that Huggy Bear?
Yeah, that's me. I also use that Vicks Vapor Rub, and it's pretty good. And then I go up here to Big Lots, and I get a big container of coconut oil for $4, and that stuff's pretty good. You can eat it. It'll cure that stomach feeling, you know, when it hits you there, and put it all over you too. I mean, from the top of your head down, even the bottom of your feet, but put it everywhere, and it's very helpful. I also use diatomaceous earth, and you can even go to Dollar Store and get a Arm & Hammer baking soda and bathe in it and put it all over you, and that kills the stuff too that's on us. And you'll know what I mean if you put something like that on. You'll go, oh my God, there's something on me. I did some drastic stuff. I would not advise it, but I bought a little bottle of tea tree for the first time and peppermint oil. And this thing came after me and engulfed me and I had a gut feeling it was some kind of parasitic something or another. And I ran in the bathroom, and the first thing I grabbed was the peppermint oil. And I put it all over me, and it killed it right away, but it burned like I don't know what, but it did get rid of it. You know, I did it several times, but I would not advise it again. I also take the diatomaceous earth and the baking soda, and I mix it. And I got this off of Hello Targets on Facebook. And mix it and keep it in a cup or a glass with a lid on it. Like I keep it in one of those ceramic, like a sport container. You want to keep lid on it, because if you don't, you're going to have dead bugs in there. And you can drink it, and it really stops a lot as well. You know, if you remember Connie, you remember her, Frank?
Yes.
She really meant well. She knew what she was talking about. And the research, and I've done a lot of it, the 5G, the symptoms are the same as what they call COVID. I mean, exactly. And people were filming them putting up 5G during the pandemic. And we might be getting locked down again in a week or two. I think second week of August, maybe. It looks bad. Just saying.
Yep, the announcement was made today. It's awful.
Oh yeah, Biden.
Last weekend, first France went out on the streets, then England, Australia. I mean, people
Italy.
Wow, they know how to protest. Let me tell you, there were wall-to-wall people. So
what went wrong here? They according to Clifford Carnicom, the scientist, you can go to carnicominstitute.org or carnicom.com, and they're trying to work on this. They've got people trying to help stop this with big money. They're putting big money up, whoever they are. They want this stopped. They know that we're all suffering, not just, the chemtrail spraying was a medium for directed energy weapons. That's not all. I mean, we ought to know we're targeted, Is this Ian?
Yeah, this is me, Chris.
Yeah, hello. Does anybody know if there's a late night call after this one?
Well, this one's going to run for another 3 hours, probably.
What is it?
This one's going to run for another 3 hours, probably.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is anybody, that lady that was getting hit in the intestines? Me too. And I had decided I was not going to die on my knees. I was going to die on my feet. And I'm all alone. They killed my family. So I joined the YMCA nearby, and I got a discount for being so damn poor when I should be a millionaire. And I'm not making that up. And I go, and I get along great with everybody, old and young, and they got 2 pools. One's heated, and one's a real big one. And they have a sauna. And I take great advantage of those things. It's a thought. If you have a why, once you force yourself to get up and try to go, you'll feel better. And I've been diving in the water like I did when I was a teenager long ago. And I'm not purposely, but I'm not stopping when the water gets in me, because it's got chlorine in it. And I'm not saying, but I mean, there's some drastic measures at times. And it seems like if I accidentally get it in my throat, and sometimes you swallow it, that it's coughing all that crap up. It's getting it all up. And I used to be afraid. This system used to make me cough in public. I even had a so-called contact tracer come after me, and I went back after her and called management. And I called her on it. I said, you got ID and permission to do that, pointing that thing at me? She was controlled to do it, like a gang stalker. And she ended up running, bleeding out of the store when I got management on her. So don't be afraid to do that. It's not everybody, It's not. This system tried that on me with all the gang stuff, neighbors, strangers, the whole bit. And I knew that there was something else driving their ships. And it's the artificial intelligence that's out here. The 5G, started with, I think, 2, 3, 4. It was a build-up. But this is the integrated surveillance system that Dr. Duncan talks about. It's the Holy Grail. And it mind control and directed energy weapons. And once you realize that it's artificial intelligence supercomputers that are, putting thoughts in your head and making you think people are communicating with you, you get a better grip on it. You just tell yourself it's a frequency, it's a data. It's like a cell phone call. And that'll help you, Marilyn, to get your feet grounded again, huh? Because I know you used to have your feet. I'm sorry, go ahead, Ian. I'm running my mouth. I'm so lonely, I can't take it.
I always liked hearing you. You sound much better.
Thanks, Marilyn. I got to force myself. Something's done with that neuro weapon. Something's done to make me have agoraphobia. And so what I learned from the super soldier told me advice, Og Tellez. He said, just get up and go. Just go do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Like, don't think about it. Just do it. No, we're going to get targeted no matter what we do. But if you can think and just go and do it, you're bypassing it. You're beating it. That's a 1-up for you. 1-up for me. Yay. And it was trying. Yeah. It's a frequency.
I didn't realize I was going to have a life sentence of gang stalking with, no due process whatsoever.
What? I'm sorry, what's that? We can barely hear you.
Oh, really? You can barely hear me?
What'd you say?
I said I didn't realize.
Did you say you didn't think you'd be on a call about gang stalkers?
I said I didn't realize this was going to be a lifelong thing with no due process. That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. I understand that, you know, they won't take any, you know, they don't want anybody off because they don't want to, if somebody becomes free, you know, they can go public. And then I've heard from others that there are people that have broken free, so I don't know the truth. I know in Florida, when I started leaving the house, like I was near a beach, the ocean, and my almost 90-year-old aunt drove up off the floor, and I thought, well, she told me, you get out there and shit on them cops. And I wasn't like her to talk out of the way. She told me to hell with all of them, you know. And I was being chased down by all kind of cops.
Okay, hold on 1 second, okay? This is Targeted Massachusetts Northeast Conference signing off at 12:59 a.m. Eastern.